Hey, my name's Cobb. I decided to make an old school, slow paced, play Minecraft my own way let's play. This is the culmination of the first 10 episodes leading up to our first dragon fight. I like to build freehand, I like to explore and adventure in my world, and I like to talk you through my thought process along the way. Even I don't know where this let's play is gonna go, but I do know this is only the beginning. Enjoy. So what is this series? That's a good question. I think on a surface level, I'm not even necessarily sure myself. I know what I want this series to be. I want it to just be good old-fashioned Minecraft Let's Play. I want to make cool builds, I want to put story behind them, and I want to take you guys along for the ride. I've always wanted to make a Minecraft Let's Play. I mean, who hasn't at one point or another? And if I'm being honest, I have tried before, but I don't think my head was in the right place. To reflect back on the early days of my experience with Minecraft, we have to go back to the early days of Yogscast. I played Minecraft in its early days, but I just never really got that into it. You know, I would play it, I would build a cool castle or something, and I would stop playing it. There was a moment, at least for me, when I got really into the Yogscast heavily modded Let's Play. I can't remember the mod pack they were using at the time. It's not the series where they're using like the Yogscast mod pack, but it's the early days of Yogscast when they were playing heavily modded Minecraft. And I just loved seeing what they would do with the builds and, you know, exploring all the cool mods. And so that's kind of what Minecraft became for me. It just became, how do I change Minecraft and how do I affect Minecraft and make Minecraft something better than what it is? And that's how I played Minecraft for a long time. I mean, I stuck in Minecraft 1.12 for a very long time just because that is what had the most mod support, and I wanted to be able to play with all the cool mods. The first pick. It seems like it's only right to save these now. If we're really gonna make this thing last and make it a long-term thing, I guess maybe we should try to save important items, and there's just nothing like the first pick. I didn't save the first piece of wood, I think I turned it into sticks, but that is what it is. Modded Minecraft. That's what Minecraft was for me for a long time, until finally I just stopped playing it because I got bored. And I don't think in those days I really realized what makes Minecraft so good. And, you know, as I've gotten older, I think I see now that vanilla Minecraft really is the way that I enjoy playing Minecraft now. The simplification and, you know, there's something special about doing the most with the least, and the vanilla Minecraft limitations, which, you know, arguably if you look at some of these high-level redstone creators, aren't even that limited. But dealing with vanilla Minecraft and making things work with the tools that you have is kind of what makes the game special. There's a lot of things that people probably wished over the years would have been added to Minecraft, but at its heart, I mean, they've stuck to their guns and tried to keep it as close to their original design ethos as they could. And what that means is that you get a unique, uncluttered experience when you're playing Minecraft. So now I want to play Minecraft Vanilla and enjoy Minecraft for what it is. And I want to take you guys along for the ride. I mean, my goal is to make the kind of videos that I like to watch, which are the slower paced and just more meaningful Minecraft videos. There's a place for mega builds, and there's a place for, you know, high octane, fast edits. And I watch those videos sometimes too, but I always seem to fall back on just the generic, slow Let's Play. Because there's just something about going through the creation and the evolution of a world from one player's perspective over time it's just hard to mimic on SMPs or on 1000-day hardcore challenges. There's just something less permanent about those things, and for whatever reason, I just like a good old-fashioned Minecraft Let's Play. And I thought, why don't I make one? I have tried to make one before, as I mentioned, but I just went about it in the wrong way. I as I said in those days, was really into heavily modded Minecraft. And what that meant for me when I tried to create a Minecraft Let's Play series was, why don't I make a massive world and world edit and try to craft my own Minecraft experience? And I spent hours, hundreds of hours probably, generating the world and piece by piece placing the trees and the rocks and the terrain. And this was before the Caves and Cliffs update, so I really wanted, you know, high amplitude mountains and things like that just didn't exist in Minecraft at the time. So I just painstakingly made this whole world, and I created new biomes, volcanic biomes, you know, ice villages and massive scenic taigas with custom trees. And at the end of the day, all that really gave me was just a soulless Minecraft world. I tried to get through the feeling that the world just, you know, something wasn't right, and I just couldn't. I couldn't push through it. And I think that it was because I took away kind of what makes Minecraft special, and that's the randomness of it. When I generated this world, I didn't look at the seed. In fact, I still haven't checked. At some point I'll probably pull it up, just so that if anyone wants to check it out themselves they can, but I just want to get in here and explore and see what this world has to offer. As you probably have noticed, I am playing with shaders. I know that a lot of people like to go for the vanilla look these days, but I just like a little bit of extra atmosphere with my Minecraft. And there's just something special about shaders and atmospheric lighting and the sunsets where the darkness really sets in around you and you can feel it. When you're digging down in a deep cave and the darkness is closing in, you just feel the atmospheric ambiance of it, I guess you'd say. We didn't find any sheep, so I guess we're gonna dig into the side of the hill and just collect some stone, I guess. We've got enough wood probably to keep our tools going for a little bit here, and we were lucky enough to find some coal, so that'll have to suit us for now. It'd be really embarrassing to die in our first episode of a Let's Play, so let's try to avoid that. I'm not really sure yet what I want to include. I mean, here I am digging into a random hillside waiting for the sun to rise, and it's not that I don't want to show progress from episode to episode, and I do want to eventually work my way up to some larger builds, but I want to do it at my own pace, and I don't want to feel like it needs to be 100 days or 1,000 days Minecraft video. I want it to feel as natural as possible. Sure, we'll build farms, we'll build an iron farm, probably a gold farm. There's an early game XP farm that I like to build, and it's simple. It's like cobblestone and trapdoors and maybe some wool so that spiders don't spawn in it. But I'm not looking to speed run the game. I'm just looking to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. The first things first, I'm gonna dig a little bit of stone, get myself a little stockpile while I wait for the sun to rise, and then we'll continue our exploration. I don't know if we'll find our permanent home yet, but maybe we can set ourselves up a little starter base camp just to get things rolling. Because I want to find the right spot. If this is going to be a long-term world or a long-term Let's Play, I want to build somewhere that gives me room for expanding, but is also interesting to look at and interesting to exist in. I want an area that inspires me to build things and inspires, you know, the aesthetic that I want to go for the buildings in it. So I don't want to hastily jump on a build location, but we probably should get some of the early grind out of the way, because I don't think you guys are going to stick around for many episodes of me mining with stone tools. I was kind of hoping that we could get lucky and snag some early iron here while we waited out our first night, but it doesn't look like we're going to get lucky. I wonder if this is a flooded cave, or no, we just hit a one. Oh, maybe it is actually. Let's see. Just a really small one. That's alright, we got some more coal. Alright, my guess is that the sun is almost risen. I think we grab our torches and get not the most successful little mining adventure overnight here, but at least we got our feet wet. I think priority for day 2 is get ourselves some wool. Our first hole. Here, if we ever want to find it someday. Alright, which direction do we want to go? Oh, we got a ruined portal over there. I'm not sure there's much useful for us there, though. Some interesting beach builds? I don't think so. I've always been intrigued by the island style building and the limitation of the area. It's not really something I think that I could thrive in, but I can see the appeal of the, not necessarily sky block, but limited space. It just really forces you to work with what you've got and the spacing that you have. And there's lots of clever things you can do, obviously, to bring animals and sheeps and different woods to your island now. There's ways to move villagers and nether portals. But I don't think we necessarily need to find ourselves a mountain, but I'd like to at least find some more aggressive terrain. I really like path blocks and not path blocks, but pathways that kind of snake up and down cliffs. Being near the water is also nice, so here's a nice potential little scenic area for our first build. If there were some sheeps here, I would say, yeah, let's set up camp for a second, but I don't see any yet. I don't want to dig another hole tonight. But being near the water is nice early game. Just, you know, for the sake of exploration, it just gives us a nice way to get around and explore. Ah! Well, we didn't find any iron, unfortunately, so sorry. I don't think we can make a black and white bed in Minecraft yet, so the hunt continues. Looks like we're gonna have to boat out of here because apparently this is an island, so unless I'm crazy, that's the same nether portal we were looking at before, so I guess we're gonna have to explore offshore. Oh, there he is. Okay, that's good. We'll now have the ability to sleep, which is pretty big when you have no armor and not even a sword really at this point. Look at all these chickens. This is crazy. I probably honestly should be axing those things. I'm sorry that I had to go this way, my guy, but I'm definitely gonna let the rest of these sheep live. But you've gone to a good cause. Hey look, iron. We can make shears. I actually found recently that fish are a pretty solid early game food source now, where you can just kind of swim in the water and smack them. I mean, I don't know if they give as much hunger as like a chicken, but as readily available as coal is on the surface in some of these shores and stuff now, you just axe a few fish and you've got pretty decent food source to start. I used to always go bread early game, but you know, waiting for those first few crops to grow so that you can double them and spread your fields, it's a bit of a hassle. So just swim into some little ponds here, beat up some fish, and it's a good start. I hope these aren't endangered, but based on the density in this area, I'd say we're probably fine. Oops. I'll be honest, I didn't put a lot of planning into the start of this, which is probably not what you want to hear as a viewer of a new series on a newer YouTube channel, but I keep planning in circles and circles, and I just never pull the trigger. So I don't really know, you know, episode length, what I'm shooting for, editing style. I mean, as I record this, I don't even know how I'm going to edit it. I want to keep it calmer. I want to keep a lot of the footage in the game, but I also, you know, I don't want to bore everyone with an hour-long episode of me finding a spot to build my first house, so we'll probably try to keep them to 30 minutes or under. Probably under for the most part, but we'll see. If a lot exciting happens, or if we're doing some major milestone build, then we'll keep more footage in, but hopefully people like the shaders. I know it's kind of a hot button topic for some people, and I totally get it. If your computer can't run them, it kind of sucks to watch someone else play it and then you can't take advantage of it. And there's also a lot of arguments to be made about, you know, shaders carrying people's builds, and I'm an example of that, because I can build and I try to be creative, but I'm no B-dubs. But hopefully through this series, you can kind of watch me get better at it. And that's my goal, to build intentionally and to try and improve with each build. And we can always iterate. And in reality, that's kind of the best way to learn or improve at anything, is just iterate. Do it, and do it each time with purpose, and try to make the next one better. And if you can, go back and improve ones you've made before, because that's the best way to learn, and that's the best way to get real progress. I think we can cross this before the night falls. I'm using a mod that shows your character's third-person model in first person. It's a little bit odd at first when you can see your body and your arms, but you get used to it. I'm also using a mod that allows me to zoom my third person camera out more, because I just think it looks more interesting when you're seeing yourself from further out. And when you're on hilltops and stuff, it's just a cooler camera angle. One of these buttons zooms in on my face, but honestly I can't even remember. There it is. What's up? This beard is almost as glorious as my beard in real life. Well, we have a bed now, so that's good. It's a little hard for me to tell with shaders because as the sun is setting, it gets a little darker. This is a pretty cool world so far. I wish it was a little more amplitude hill-wise, but can you imagine if you went back in time 15 years and showed somebody this and said, hey, this is what Minecraft's gonna look like? They would definitely not believe you. It's a cool floating island up there. That's kind of something I've never done really, is, you know, like Dragon Ball Z floating island style builds. That would be pretty cool. Maybe that's something we keep in our back pocket. Once we have an Elytra, obviously that becomes a little bit more feasible, but it's interesting. There's another mod I have installed that's giving us these ambient sounds, so if you hear the birds chirping or the wind blowing on a high mountaintop, that's what you're hearing there. It's just a little bit of extra ambiance. Yeah, it's less cool floating mounting, and this one's... Is this floating? Well, I guess technically it's not floating. Oh, ready for this satisfying... Yeah, I guess it was as much as I thought it was going to be. Ah, yes. The most unfortunate biome in Minecraft. It's right there. Right in front of our eyes. Ooh, is that dark wood? We are going to go that way. You can never have enough dark oak. Something about the contrast, especially if we do a lot of builds with spruce. It's nice to have that one shade darker for accent pieces and things. Sometimes I think dark oak's a little bit much, but if you're using it for accents, it's nice. We gotta cook up these fish here in a second too. Maybe we'll do that real quick. Yeah, I'm just not feeling an inspirational spot yet, so the search will continue. Insert traveling montage here. As an ode to a different time, in a different world, and a Let's Play that didn't survive, I think our initial base will be a cave on the shores of a rocky shore. This one, however, I didn't generate in World Painter. It's good old-fashioned Minecraft generation. It's not the most beautiful home I've ever created, but we need somewhere to sleep between episodes, so it's gonna have to do. We'll dig ourselves a nice little cave hole, cook us up some fish, rest for the evening, and continue in the next episode. If you want to see that episode, why don't you subscribe? It's just an idea. Maybe it'll pop up again on your homepage, but maybe it won't. Maybe you'll never know what happened to Cobb's Let's Play. Did his New Beginnings last? Did he stick it through and release more than 2 episodes? The only way you can really know is if you ring the notification bell and like the episode. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. Picking up where we left off in the last episode, we need to find a more permanent place to live. Let's see, we want to grab some stuff and leave some stuff. I'm expecting this to be a pretty long journey, so we can really only take what our inventory can sustain. We do still have our original pick. We're going to keep bringing that with us. What else we got? Sugarcane. We can find that pretty much anywhere, but it is kind of annoying when you first start farming sugarcane, so I like to have a decent little supply to start. Coal. Oak, we've got oak in our inventory, so it makes sense to have those. Sticks, we're gonna need to make tools. Boats, I've never made the new boat with the chest in it. I may try that now. If we're gonna be going on a pretty long journey here, it'd be nice to be able to carry more stuff. Is that all it is? Oh, look at that, that's all it is. That's pretty handy. It's gonna kind of limit us to the ocean travel, but I think that'll be useful still. This was a pretty cool build location, but unfortunately I don't love the area around it. It's all, you can't, I don't know if you can barely see it there, but you got birch forest, and you have a dark forest, and not very much flat area. I know that I said I wanted some mountainous terrain, but I don't really want to be doing hours and hours of landscaping to get our initial settlement built, so I think we'll sleep for the night and say goodbye to our initial hole in the ground, and just leave it here as a memory to episode 1. Hopefully nothing spawned while I was too busy yapping there. Looks like we're good. No creepers are going to jump down on my head. And so we will set forth and explore a little bit more. I don't want to rush this, like I said. I want to find the perfect spot, and that's probably impossible, but... Oh, actually, you know what? I don't have any more wool, so... just gonna snag that. But it's a pretty nice shelter if anyone else, you know, shows up. Oh, you know what, here. It's no soft bed, but at least they'll have a flat spot to lay down. And you're welcome. A little torch to find it in the future. And so we set sail into the wild blue yonder. I actually want to go back around this dark forest because I don't want to be too far from spawn, which we are definitely at risk of doing at this point. So we actually are gonna pit stop here. I've got a few goals this episode. I'd like to get our initial build location found, obviously. I promise you we won't end this one without building some kind of more permanent area. Maybe get some iron tools. It's not necessarily a must, but again, we should get through some of this early game grind so we can make some more interesting builds. I don't actually think that we're gonna build an initial survival base or house. I'm thinking that I'm going to treat myself like some kind of a nomad to a new town that we're building. It's still a work in progress and a plan that's in my head, and I don't fully know how I'm going to realize it yet, but kind of crazy that someone just left all this leather and raw beef just laying here on the beach. Wow. I was waiting for these leaves to decay so I could get some more saplings, and I left one log. That's alright. It meant that we could find all that beef and leather laying on the beach here, so it was pretty useful. While we're out here adventuring across the lands, it would be pretty useful if we could grab some bamboo. Pretty partial to building with scaffolding, so I think I see a piece. Oh, melons! I've never built in a jungle biome. Could be a cool build at some point. Maybe do some Aztec-inspired building. See? It's kind of a cool little grove here. Oh, cocoa beans? I think those are actually useful. Probably should grab some of that. Vines. Lots of useful stuff in the jungle, but yeah, I like this cove. Oh, it looks like there's like an underwater cave or something maybe going on there too. It's a pretty neat little spot. It's funny all the interesting world generation you just randomly run to when you actually move across the lands like this. Sometimes it's just good to stop and smell the melons. I think we'll do a little erosion to the beach here because my initial builds, I always forget sand and can never put windows in them. And then, you know, time goes by, and before you know it, you look back, and none of your structures have windows. So we'll get some sand so that from the get, we're putting windows in. Now watch. I'll forget to put windows in still, and you can all point it out in the comments. Am I not turtle enough for the turtle? Turtle! I hope there are turtles near me. It's a lot of useful farms you can make with their eggs, but I don't have the ability to move or tame or do anything with them right now, so I will say having this chest strapped to the back of my boat is pretty useful. It's not really something I've used in previous worlds, but it seems like there's a pretty decent waterway, but the continents around here are also pretty decent size, so it's actually pretty inducive to this kind of travel. Probably being way too picky for this build location, but again, it just feels so permanent. It's weird when you're doing this, you know, as a let's play and for the world to see. And if I'm going to stick this out for the long haul, it needs to be somewhere that feels right. Oh, that's a cool tree. I mean, just look at that view. The epic mountains poking up. Maybe I need to explore this area a little bit. This might have some potential. Pretty decent flat ground, pretty high rising mountains there. I do love that. Something about that tree. I mean, the dirt blocks derping above it kind of give it a little bit of a negative effect, I would say, but the vibe is definitely getting closer. I don't love savanna coloring for grass and stuff, but let's explore around here a little bit. Oh, we might as well grab these chests and this gold. Early game gold is also kind of handy. If we do end up going in the nether or something, it'll be good to be able to make a... I'm an idiot. Oh, jeez. Why did that mine so fast? Oh, jeez. Total noob. Got a shovel of mending. Ooh, a fortune hoe. It's actually pretty useful for doubling our seeds and stuff early on. It's gold, so it's not going to last long, but... Is this our thumbnail? Cheese! Or maybe it's through the ruin portal. Cheese! Is there a slab here somewhere? Oh, it's a slab. I can sit here. Cheese! Another day. The adventure continues. Definitely didn't just get scared by my shadow. Man, I keep looking over this thing. There's probably some potential here. I'm not sure that I have the skill necessary to tame a piece of geography like this, but I just that flat top tree sitting on top of the cliff. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. Another beautiful moment. Just one solitary daisy sitting up on the hillside. If it's not a daisy, don't bother correcting me, please. You guys need to remind me in future episodes if I get away from just exploring the world, because just taking this boat for a little cruise across the ocean, nice beautiful sunny day, little scenic tour of the coves and the inlets, peaceful sound of the water splashing. There's just something about it. Minecraft just really has a way of making it feel like you're in a world. I mean, a lot of it probably has to do with the scale, because it really is just as reasonably as it can be. It's infinite, right? So it just always feels like there's more and there's something to be discovered. Thousands of hours of Minecraft and I still am just amazed all the time by some of the generation. I'm looking for a very specific combination here. I want some elevation and some mountains and hills in the backdrop, but I also don't want to have to excavate thousands of blocks of dirt. I'm not looking for a super flat area, but something that I can reasonably tame. I do like the vistas and the hillsides that are in this area, though. There might be some potential here. Let's backtrack a little. I mean, I want it to be near the open waters, but we might have to try some inlet rivers or streams or something. I'm telling you, we'll know it when we see it. It's gonna be beautiful. The downside here is we've got all of our stuff in this boat. I guess we could make a second chest boat and do some like river hopping. But again, this could all dry up around the corner, so let's do it. Let's go inland a little bit here, a little more exploring. Also, I added the leaf resource pack. I totally forgot that these existed, and it does add a lot of texture to the area. Thought it was cool. It does look like a pretty decent plains biome up there. We'll still do the transfer, and then it might all be for not, but even getting our stuff that much closer will make it a lot easier when we have to actually do the trek back and forth to bring the stuff to the base. Being near a river is nice too. I hadn't really considered it, but everyone loves a good bridge build in Minecraft too, so might be worth sticking kind of close to one of these waterways. There's a forest there. We've got a plains biome. We've got some kind of verticality over there for a backdrop. Let's explore this area a little bit. This might have some potential. You're probably looking at a stunning cinematic sunrise drone shot across the majestic fields, but from my perspective, it's kind of hard to see anything. We're definitely gonna have to fix those if we make this home. I should probably make some kind of marker before I leave our boat with all of our stuff in it back here. Lots of cows and chickens. That's good. Nothing's worse than having to lead a cow 10,000 blocks to get your farm started. Lots of grass. Probably should punch some of this for some more seeds. Let's grab... Man. Can I... You like right... Oh, okay. If you shift and right click, it just opens the chest. That's good to know. That's everything we need for a little mini adventure here while we scope the area out. I know everyone builds in a plains biome, but it really does just save you so much effort cutting down the trees, and trust me, I will plant trees because I like a wooded area, but it allows me to strategically place them rather than having to deal with cutting around the vanilla generated ones. Oh geez, what do we got here? Some torches. Let me grab some iron in this hole real quick. That was kind of a bust. Coal. I just noticed I have 2 stone picks halfway destroyed. There we go. It's good to light stuff up like that anyway if we do end up building in this area. There's definitely going to need to be some flattening. Even for a plains, it's pretty hilly through here, which I don't mind, but we might have to smooth some of this out a little bit. Is that the ocean over there? Let's go check that out. My concept for this first little town is like a woodcutter village who exports wood across the ocean, so I'm thinking it would be nice to be attached to the ocean in some port, so we can build like docks and make a little boat with some logs on it or something, you know what I mean? I like to theme my villages around like a resource, so we'll probably do some kind of woodcutter village to start here because early game Minecraft wood is just an easily accessible resource, so it just makes that a little easier. And then we'll move to one of these. See, I was hoping to be more of a mountain. That might be enough of a mountain, so we have like a stone export, maybe some kind of mineral town. You get the idea, I think. So here's my vision is that rather than building ourselves a starter house, I think we're just gonna live in the town inn in each of the towns. So the first town we'll build a tavern and then we'll live upstairs, I think. We'll see how it works out as we progress here, but too tall grass. I mean, there's a place for it, but it's not here. Obstructing my vision. It's kind of a cool little outcropping. If you have a clever name for this little mound feature here, put it down in the comments. It almost looks like a shark fin. Do you see that? Where it curves back on itself? Maybe rock jaws? I don't know. We'll work on it. Just gotta workshop a little bit. I don't hate this. This might have some potential. A little bit close to this wood line, I think. It's not exactly what I had in mind when I set out to find this spot, but the more I've pondered about it and the more I've considered how I want to approach each of these build locations, if we're going to build individual settlements and towns, it's not necessarily important that we have infinite room to expand, although this is actually a pretty good sized plain, so if we wanted to build some massive city here, it would totally be possible. And this could even just be like a wood outpost in the future if we want to manipulate the storyline a little bit. This is at least a big enough little bay here. Yeah, I think this can work. A nice little beach here. We'll probably build the docks a little further down the coastline here and like a little road going to the town. You wouldn't want all the industry coming right through the town, but a little bit of jungle off in the distance too, for some variety in the backdrop. We'll have to plug up these huge crevasses, but that's easily done, I think, as long as we throw some torches down there and cover it up. Well, I'm gonna run back to the boat, grab our resources, and we'll start planning out the first building. We might have to take a couple layers off of this dirt here. We're gonna have to gather some wood, gather some more stone, and we'll start work on the tavern. I'm thinking Greg's Tavern. Oh yeah, we got cows, got baby cows, we got sheeps. There's gotta be some chicken. Well, we saw some chickens over by the boat anyway, so. Pigs. This is gonna work. I'm also anxious to get our bed placed. Whoa, I didn't notice this when I walked by before. Did I walk right around this? This is a little bit of a bigger hole. We'll probably hop down in there, grab some minerals once we get some chests and I get our items and stuff sorted. Oh, jeez. I think there's something we can work with here. I like it. It's like a destroyed cliff. Like some kind of past war destroyed the terrain. Like just blew giant holes in it. It's cool. Maybe we want to move the town over some so that we can get some of this loaded in the background. I do like these mountains and hills. We may wrap the town around a little bit here. We'll play with it. We'll play with it. We'll have to plant more trees because we won't be next to the forest, but that's not too big of a deal. And the ground in the middle there was a little bit more rocky and hilly in terrain, but where did we park our boat? You know, I almost put a pillar with some torches, but of course I did not. So I guess we're sleeping in the field again. Man, I think I remember climbing right up into the plains. Dude, where's your boat? This isn't where I parked my boat. Nah, that's too far. We would have remembered crossing 2 bodies of water. I don't necessarily care as much about the stone and stuff, but we definitely need those dark oak saplings, so it's worth the little searching party here. Ah! Thank the chickens. Thank you. So what's the most important items here? Not necessarily an egg. Iron, our first pick for sure. I'll probably cut this all out because who wants to hear me talk about inventory management? Of course, the rain. This really does look like a battlefield, the way the land is all scarred around here. Is there such thing as like a destroyed plains? I guess this is just part of the new generation, but back in the before times, when the machines took over the earth, the only way to destroy them was to destroy energy itself. We put ourselves back in the Stone Age, but we were victorious. It's gonna make it a little more difficult to scout out our perfect build location when we can only have a visibility of about 30 blocks. Definitely want Rockjaw Mountain in view. I wish this beach was a little less sand. Oh no, what is this? That's alright, we can cover that up. We're gonna have to dig out a lot of this sand, unfortunately. But this is it, I think. Right on the edge here. Got our cool trees in the distance. We're still next to the cove. I wish I could see a little bit. This isn't a thunderstorm, right? We can't sleep through this. Alright, we don't want the tavern too close to the shoreline. But we also want a little bit of distance. I think right here, and I would say probably the same elevation as this tree. So I think this is our current home. Didn't I pick our crafting table up? Oh no, we decided to take the boat. You know we didn't get? Spruce wood. That's probably going to come back to bite us. I'm sure that there's some spruce wood around here somewhere. It's not much, but it's home. Well, now that our survival base is complete, I'll see you guys in episode 3. Nah, just kidding. Respawn point set. This is probably excessive, but I really don't want a creeper to walk up and blow up our chest with all of our belongings in it, so let's build a quick little perimeter here. It's important to keep the stove close to your bed when you're surviving like this for warmth. I'm gonna do some terraforming, probably actually do some quick little caving in some of these crevasses, and then check back in. If you didn't know about this, a really good way to get in and out of like fenced-in pens like this is throw a carpet on top, and you can actually make the jump just standard walking into it, but mobs won't, so it doesn't always look the prettiest, but if you color the wool to match your aesthetic of the area, it's a really good way to get in and out without needing fence gates and stuff like that. It's a decent looking cave entrance. Let's see if we can find some iron. Oh, it goes down quite a ways. Oh my. Is that deep slate? Whoa. Wasn't necessarily my goal here to go that deep, but let's see how this generation is. This could be fairly convenient. Oh, a little bit of a downside to the third-person model here. I can't see anything because the stupid arrow. Where did that come from? Oh, down below it looks like based on... Oh yeah, I see him. I just barely saw his head there. This is precarious. How can we manage this? Oh, you know what? We'll just... Just don't give him the angle. There we go. He'd probably get smart and go around now, but oh, he's trying. Is that more iron? Yeah. I see you. Oh, I see you. The radiation from the energy wars left these fleshless creatures, these petrified zombies to taunt us. We thought they would starve, but it appears their energy is regenerated by the darkness. The sun is the only thing that keeps us protected. I don't think I'm feeling super brave to go down there and actually face some of these guys, but we can explore a little bit here. Used to be light updates would make this stuff fall, but I guess that doesn't do that anymore. I didn't think we had gone that deep. I figured we'd be at the surface by now, but that's how these caves go. There's dirt, we gotta be close. Maybe not. Not surface dirt. Oh, now you know. Yeah, I don't think we'll drop down there our first encounter. Jeez. Gotta be careful around here. The ground just disappears in some of these spots. I didn't forget about that iron back there. I just like to torch the area around myself pretty good so I don't get surprised. Some lapis, some gold. Well, we'll need some initial lapis. Oh, that was close. We'll need some initial lapis to get our fortune enchant. But I like to save a lot of stuff like that until I have fortune, just because, especially lapis these days where it doesn't spawn in the super deep levels, it can be kind of a pain in the butt to get. So, all right, we're gonna get lost if we think we go back, grab that iron, and cut tail. What's up here? Oh, look at that, full circle. What do you think the odds that we'll ever find that iron again? Whoops. That's why you mine it when you're there, I guess. That's the fall, that's the drop. Did we go up? Well, we obviously didn't go this way. Is it 24 pieces of iron for a full set of armor? I guess we're gonna find out here pretty soon. We don't want to cover up this beautiful face anyway. Just look at it. Blue steel. Now, we've got iron for some tools and sword and maybe a couple pieces of armor, so I'll get us started. I am curious now, just because we started this. You know what though? We dropped down pretty far. Nah, I don't want to do that. We dropped down pretty far on that initial drop. If I try to dig out through the ground there, it could be 50 blocks. Yeah, look how far up it is. We would have been digging for a long time. Oh, yes. Nighttime, of course. It is beautiful in the moonlight. Oh, what's that? Oh, is that a village? Is that just one building? What is that? Probably now's not the time, huh? Whatever. We gotta check it out. I hear you. You almost looked mad for a sec there. It scared me. Worse than the fleshless beasts. The tall, dark ones who enter in and out of our dimension. Don't look them directly in the eyes. Oh yeah, look at this. This is not too bad. This terrain kind of sucked to get a villager across, but you guys need a little bit more lighting, I think. Whew. We may have cut that one a little close. It was almost our first death. These arrows. I really underestimated the third person effect. We'll just rest up, eat up, and hopefully we don't get sniped by a skeleton hiding in the shadows. And me just waiting for these arrows to despawn. This super ominous overhang they decided to build their village underneath. This arrow. Are you serious? Don't mind if I do. Ooh, potatoes. I like potatoes. Baked potatoes used to be a go-to for me for a food source. There's lots of ways to get food now in Minecraft, but you get like 3 potatoes per harvest. I don't necessarily even need the hay, but it seems silly not to take it. This will give our initial feeding for the cows a nice little boost. Whoa. Look at this thing. Holy crap. Is it worth going all the way down there for that? Some say we were foolish to build so close to where the bombs fell. I'd argue it's the last place the machines would want to return. Copper. I haven't been collecting it, and it is a block that I have generally avoided. But part of this series is me kind of broadening my horizons, and part of that probably means building with some new color palettes, so I will start messing around with some copper, I think. Plus, it's literally everywhere, so other than the effort it takes to smelt it down, it's pretty easy to get a hold of. Look at that, it's majestic. Another shark fin. I'm too easily distracted. I can tell already this episode's gonna be like an hour long. I apologize in advance. I love this overhang with the pond underneath in the village. The terrain got a little wonky and the buildings are kind of up and down, but it's pretty cool. I'm getting like Legend of Zelda fairy vibes, like build a little stage over there with a fairy fountain in it. Pretty cool. Fix our respawn point. Pro tip. You're gonna go on an adventure and you ended up clicking a bed. Lots of hay. Okay, we burned through a lot of torches, but we also had a decent haul. 27 iron, that's a good start. We'll throw a couple of those in there, make the rest into torches. Take this ugly armor off. I like to live dangerously. All right, we got a decent little initial burst of some materials here. We found a cool town, that's nice. I may sail the coastline on this side of the island a little bit more. Hopefully there's a village on the water. That'll be a lot easier to transport villagers, because we got to put villagers in our town, otherwise what's the point? But we got the iron and some stone. Tavern's going to be pretty simple. It's a small wood town. Their buildings are going to be pretty rudimentary. A lot of woods and stones. We could always come back and spruce the place up later with some fancier blocks, but we're taking this Let's Play slow. We're enjoying the views, and we're just doing what feels right in the moment. And what feels right is to wait for the sun to set so that I can sleep. Then we're gonna go cut down a massive area of the forest because we actually do need a lot of wood, and we need to find spruce. The next day we'll be focused on wood. Not a bad sunset next to the hill. I wish it set over the mountains, but I'll take that. The moon rising next to Rockjaw Mountain, name pending. Did I say gather wood? I meant plant our sugarcane, then gather wood. We are gonna need paper for our enchant table setup, and we also probably should pen some cows and start feeding them as well, because what is it, like 20 minutes between feeds on cows? If we want to start getting any kind of decent leather population going here, we should probably start that too. So I like to do my sugarcane on the water. We'll dress it up later to look prettier, but this is a decent little method. You can slab over the top layer of water and still plant sugarcane next to it so that when you punch it, it doesn't fall into the water. Well, you'll see here in a second. We'll tuck this in the corner too so it's not obtrusive to our eyeballs. A big mass of sugarcane isn't exactly the most appealing thing. On my old survival servers, I always used to just plant sugarcane on each block around the coastlines, and you just have a huge ring of sugarcane, but we'll try to keep things a little more neat and tidy here. We're going through our fish like crazy, all this sprinting. We want to be pretty close to our house because, so this is it. This is the whole method. We get some dirt, and we just need one block of water in between, right? So a little of that, a little of that. You build up these dirt lines. Yeah, you get the point. You do rows of sugarcane, and then we'll throw down slabs in between them so that when we punch the sugarcane, it doesn't fall into the water. We'll make some kind of sugarcane farm eventually. When we get our elytra and start flying around and using rockets, we'll need a lot more than this, but if we just harvest this a few times, it'll give us enough paper to make the books for our enchanting table, so that's really all that matters right now. There you go. Decent little start for that. Alright, we messed up. We're gonna go back to the house and get some stone and make a bunch of axes. Then we're gonna go deforest something over there. We're looking for mostly oak wood because that's what the walls will be made out of, but I would like spruce for the accent pieces, so we do still need to find some spruce trees. That probably seems excessive, but stone axes don't go very far. Remember when I said I needed spruce wood? Well, it turns out this is the most anti-spruce wood world I have ever been a part of in Minecraft. I had to go on an actual entire other adventure just to find some spruce trees at the top of a mountain. I also did not press the record button on OBS, so you get to see the cinematic version without any of my first-person gameplay or audio. We sailed past a village on the ocean, which will be useful for getting villagers here, because that town across the plains is probably going to be a nightmare to get villagers here from. We found a beautiful cherry blossom biome. We climbed a mountain. We cut down some trees. We rested and enjoyed the scenery. And then we came home. We also liked the video and subscribed to the channel. Oh no, wait, that was you. Thanks. We've journeyed, we've gathered, and now we build. This episode is gonna be an absolute nightmare to edit. That is my cross to bear. I don't think I could sleep tonight if we went another entire episode without building something. And so, first things first, let's clear some ground. We've got to pick a decent elevation here where the ground is so inconsistently leveled. I'm looking here and I'm seeing 3 levels of dirt, so I think if we go down to that level, most of this other stuff will flatten out pretty good to that, and it still gives us a decent little step down towards the beach. for a pathway to a dock or something. So let's get rolling. It's time to dig. Okay, this will do. It's not perfect. It's definitely gonna need some more cleanup, obviously, in the area. We'll flatten out some of these more raised areas and clean up the, like this little indent right here, obviously should be more smoothed out, but we've got a platform here and I really just want to get this building built in this episode, so good enough will not get in the way of perfect. I mean, or perfect, or you get it. First we're gonna go cut down that tree though, because I don't know that we have quite enough spruce. Okay, so I haven't like pre-built this in creative or anything, but I know the elements that I want it to have, and the way that I'm envisioning this thing, I think I need to build it from the inside out, if that makes sense. So I'm actually gonna place kind of some placeholder blocks. That way I know internally to the tavern, I'll have the space that I want. So I want the front door to the tavern to be like right here, looking at the water, right? Probably a single door on the tavern, so a 3-wide entryway. You can play with that as you want. We step in, here's the floor of your tavern. It's gonna be narrow, might be easier to place some placeholder benches. So what I'm picturing is benches with tables on this side of the bar, probably just 2. I mean, this is a really small town, so this will be a very small tavern. Then you'll have an aisleway to walk around the bar. You'll have 2 stools at the bar, I think, just 2. Is this enough room? So there has to be a staircase going up here. It's the kind of crutch of this thing, because there's going to be rooms upstairs at the tavern for people to stay in. So if the benches are here, the bar is here, the bartender will stand here, then there's a wall behind the bartender. So bartender's here, benches. Oh, I messed that up already. Benches, this is the bar right here. This is where the bartender stands, and then the next block is a wall. This is a wall. Bartender, bar, stools, bar seats, so this is your exterior wall here. Right, does that make sense? You're gonna have windows between the benches? Does that make sense? Yeah, probably between the benches we'll have windows. So that, you know, if you're sitting, having your morning beverage, whatever that might be for you, you can peek out the window. Don't worry, we'll replace these solid blocks, but this is all just kind of placeholder so that I don't build this thing too small and cram myself. And then there's going to be actually a cellar here, and that's what we're going to use as our storage for now. And that's a little too narrow, I think. Yeah, I think that's it right there. So you'll have a little staircase here that kind of goes down into the wine cellar, which is going to be our storage for now. Might be a little bit annoying to have to go in this building and go down here, but I think it's kind of a cool way to have us living in the tavern and still have easy access to most of our materials, at least a good place to organize them for the long-term stuff that we're not using constantly. Plus Greg has given me a pretty good discount on the room for helping him actually build out this place, so we're gonna want to be 1 below the floor here, so probably this next landing is good. Where does this put us in terms of ceiling height? I'm thinking probably a doorway into the cellar. There's no code enforcement in this small village on the ocean, so I don't think we have to worry too much about ground support, but we probably shouldn't hollow out the entire area under the bar. So you can picture it, chests, some kind of organization down here, but I think this will be where our semi-permanent storage is while we're working on this small coastal town, staying in Greg's Tavern. Okay, I don't know if I'm giving you guys a good vision here, but this is the gist. The rooms are going to be really small, so you're going to go up to effectively a hallway, and then there's just going to be 2 rooms up there. And Greg might be renting us a room in the basement. That's to be determined as we work through this thing. It's going to be a mixture of cobblestone and stone as the foundation layer. Cobblestone will help us give us a good outline here, which will make it a lot easier to tell what the actual exterior wall of the building is supposed to be. So if this is a doorway, do we want the wall right against us, or do we want a space here? Well, let's see what this worked out to, actually. So I like to do exterior framing Just gives a little bit of depth to the exterior of the building. I'm sure you've seen it on other Let's Plays, but does that work out? So here's the problem with forcing the benches into a window. Well, where's the back corner of the room? This bench is in the back corner of the room. Okay, we can make that work. What do we decide here? That this is going to be the exterior wall? I think so. I want it to feel like a really cramped, cozy tavern. Any blocks we can spare kind of expanding this thing outwards is going to help keep that feel. The rooms upstairs are going to be really tight, I think, but we can make it work. We also have to be careful with this staircase because it has to be at least 3 high inside of this building. So we don't want to be knocking our head on the staircase, and we don't want the stairs to have to go too far up into the back of the building. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh-oh. Did this not work out for us? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You know what? This is probably for the better anyway, because I was actually pretty worried about that staircase. 1, 2, 3. So we'll just extend this wall out some. That'll give us a double wall for the bar, which will make it a lot easier to put like the barrels for the bar taps and stuff in. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. We can make this work. We could also do some kind of back patio. Does that work? If this is an exterior wall, we go down, that only leaves us a little 2 block. You could throw some benches back. That's what we'll do. We'll make the back kind of an overhang patio, so that way we can kind of keep the interior cozy and tight, but also give ourselves a little room. Even potentially upstairs we'll have a little room. So anyway, that's the vision. Let's make some progress. Greg's Tavern. I don't know if we'll get all the detailing done this episode, but the frame will be up, and we'll be able to take a seat at the bar, and maybe even sleep one of these nights in an actual structure. Let's get building. Can't believe we pulled it off. Greg's Tavern, 100% complete. I think the time lapse might have cut off there somewhere at the end, but let me just give you a quick tour, show you what it looks like. Just walk around here. Oh, that's weird. I must have missed. That's alright. We'll just close that for now. It's that's really straight. You know, I'm actually gonna finish that later. But the upstairs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get it done. I wasn't sure how long to let that bit go, but yeah, I didn't get it done. This is already the mother of all episodes, I'm sure. And I really wanted to get this build done, but hopefully we're at least far enough that you can see the potential. It's got a lot of detailing left to do. It's got a lot of color palette decisions to make. I want to add some gradient to the walls. There's obviously still a lot of oak wood. I'm pretty happy with the structure of the bar. I don't like this at all. I don't know what I was doing here. I don't know why I thought this would look good. I gotta figure this corner out. I wanted to put taps on the barrels, but I definitely should have spaced this wall out more. Because if I put taps on the front of these barrels with like tripwire hooks, it's gonna be just inside of the bartender, so pretend this is a nice 2D tap that he can easily squeeze through. I nailed this first try. The door opens the right way that I wanted it to, so there's that. We can still have a nice oh, that's not what I wanted to do. We can still have a nice coffee here and read our morning paper and, okay, I guess I don't. Oh, it's because I can eat the fish. Oh, I don't know if I even mentioned this actually. I have a mod that allows me to sit on stairs and slabs, which, you know, gameplay-wise has no effect, but it lets me do cool stuff like this. Here it is. The frame, the shell, the inspiration, the initial crack at Greg's Tavern. Luckily, he's going to let me stay here for free while I continue to fix up the place and work on the neighborhood around here. You get the idea. I think you can see where it's going to be. Roof's going to be slabs, I think. It's already way bigger than I wanted it to be. I'm gonna knock these down so it'll be 2-tiered, so at least from the side profile it'll be a little thinner. This back wall jetting out, I really didn't predict that, so we're gonna have to figure something out to cover that up a little bit. But yeah, we just ran out of time. We're deep on this one, and I've got hours and hours of editing ahead of me, but this is the initial run at it. The concept is here, so next episode we'll refine it. I can promise this much: we'll get the frame done, and we'll get moved into some kind of settlement in here. We'll get our stuff put in here, but we just can't get it done today. But hey, you've got something to look forward to in episode 3. Greg's Tavern. I want to do something on this back wall here too. It's just like wasted space. Probably should put some more booths or something. But yeah, you got your little staircase to your cellar. You've got your bar, and then upstairs you've got 2 rooms. Me and Greg, I think, are gonna sleep in the basement, and then these rooms will be for rent. Yeah. And remember when I got that sand? I think it was episode 1, or was it earlier in this episode? Wow, we're so deep now, I can't remember. Yeah, I didn't put the windows in yet. As predicted, I wouldn't. That's alright, we'll get there. Whew. What a journey. What a start, kind of. It's a slow ramp in this new Let's Play survival world. Well, I gotta go inside and sit down at the bar and record the intro to this video. And probably talk a little bit about what happened during the journey. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. Minecraft is more than nostalgia and comfort food. I'm not here to argue that it doesn't have those elements. I'm here to talk about why it's so much more. Sure, for most of us, Minecraft has been around for most of our gaming life. And for some of us, who might be slightly older, at least a large portion of it. For me, it was fun times in high school, back in the early days of the Minecraft beta. You'll have to excuse me, I have to finish Greg's Tavern while I talk through this, but you know, if I let him get any more water damage on these floors, he's gonna be furious when he shows up. When it was just this weird, goofy, janky game you could get online for super cheap. And I played it, and in those days, honestly, there weren't even really that good of a reason to play it. I wasn't particularly creative. There weren't all these big YouTubers showing you cool ways to use different blocks. And sure, even now, Minecraft is kind of comfort food for me. I've been pretty sick the last couple weeks, just kind of one thing after another piled up on me. And it's been nice to just get in here, farm up some materials, try to make whatever progress I could on my little Let's Play survival world here, without, you know, making too much progress off screen, because no one wants to be that guy. It's a good time killer. It feels good to go through the motions of the early game. But even in there, there's just a million different ways to find where you could be creative. Sometimes you build a generic starter house. Sometimes here, I'm building the town tavern and I'm just going to sleep upstairs. Sometimes you dig a hole in the wall in your favorite beach and live in a cave. Sometimes you don't build a base. Sometimes you just throw a backpack in your inventory and go on an adventure across the lands. That's the beauty of it, is you can do whatever you want to. And you can go wherever you want to. Do you like deserts? There's one of those. Do you like vast jungles, deep oceans, high mountains, treacherous cliffs? There's a little bit of everything. All you gotta do is explore and find it. Did you know that there are over 1,400 unique items in Minecraft? I mean, it has everything. Chests, barrels, shulker boxes. I mean, there's 3 different ways right there you can put your items. You can put chests in your boats now, put them in minecarts. The amount of different foliage that exists now, the different shades of leaves, the moss, the flowers. Now, I will argue those latest flowers they added maybe should have had some more utility to them, but I mean, let's be honest, when I saw the name Torchflower, I think we all thought that was going to give off light, right? That's not really the point for this video, but it is kind of silly. Minecraft, it kind of has a place for everyone too. I mean, it has a place for the adventurer that just wants to travel. It has a place for the builder that just wants to build huge, unique buildings. Play it in creative mode, play it in flat mode, play it online with your friends. Maybe you're a technically inclined person. You want to get deep in the redstone. I mean, you can build a computer in Minecraft. The point is, I don't think people give Minecraft enough credit for just how creatively liberating it is. Sure, it gives you a semi-limited canvas, but it gives you a lot of tools and a lot of unique ways to paint on it. In a lot of ways, I like to think of Minecraft in 2024 as an infinite Lego set. Can you imagine that if you went to the Lego store and you were just able to take as many blocks from as many buckets as you possibly wanted? That's what Minecraft feels like when I play it now. I can build however big I want. I can build however weird I want. Now imagine you had a room the size of the United States to build all of your stuff in. Get bored of an area? You can travel miles and check out a new one. Sure, you could argue maybe it's not as challenging as it could be. Maybe there should be harder modes for people that want to play a serious action RPG, but I don't think anyone came to Minecraft looking for that. And I think over time, honestly, they'll rework the dragon fight. They'll rework the end cities and the end dimension at some point. We all know it's coming. It's not something that should be rushed, because most of the things that show up in Minecraft, they stay for a long time. If you make too big of the wrong change, it can really turn people off the game in a big way. And the game that exists right now is still great. And for those of us, when even all of that isn't quite enough, Minecraft has one of the biggest and most diversified modding communities I think I've ever seen. There's people that have turned this game into Escape from Tarkov. There's hundreds of technical mods, nuclear reactors, flying machines. The Create mod is crazy. I keep wanting to check that thing out, but I just don't have the time, if we're being honest. If you don't like the looks of something, the texture packs are modifiable locally. You can make it look like whatever you want to. And if maybe you don't have the skill or the time or the patience to do that, there's hundreds of resource packs online, ranging from everything to hyper-realistic to something out of Cartoon Network in the 90s. Shader packs, graphics improvements, accessibility options. And then when you start to move beyond the game, to the communities and the personalities around Minecraft. I mean, there's every different type out there you could want. All the way from Hermitcraft, been going strong for season 10 now? Always blowing us away with their massive builds, or their unique character interplay. But even beyond the players from servers like Hermitcraft or Fwip's server, I can't remember the name of it now, but you got people like Dallas Med, who's just been grinding along in the same Minecraft world for over 10 years. Just slowly sprawling across the landscape, technical science lab builds, and this massive new awesome sewer he's building underneath his base. You've got chill channels like It's Marlow. You may or may not have ever heard of him. If you haven't, I highly recommend checking him out. Super creative builds, but also just a super chill personality and environment in all of his videos. All the way down to the smaller creators and the smaller communities who just like making stuff and putting it out there for the world to see. During this last couple weeks, I've been, again, super sick, and it's been really annoying because we're just getting ramped up on the survival Let's Play, and I can't even get episode 3 out because I can't talk more than 10 minutes already by the end of this video. I'm sure you can tell my voice is toast, but anyway, during that time, I went down a super deep dive on this cool small community. I believe they just call themselves the Backyard Community. It's just this cool group of 20 or 22 creators who are just on this server making amazing builds, doing fun challenges together, having a great time. They're each unique and have their own perspective, and no one's trying to be like anyone or be like anything else. They're just doing their thing, recording it, and putting cool stuff out into the world. I have no idea how I did not see this creeper, by the way. I mean, it literally came from almost directly in front of me. In my defense, we were halfway into broad daylight. It really should have despawned. And that's what Minecraft really instills in so many people. It's just a way to express what you want to do and do cool stuff, and sometimes do cool stuff with other people. And so yes, a lot of times Minecraft can be nostalgic, but a lot of times it's nostalgia over the people you were playing with, or the place you were playing in. The game itself, it hasn't changed that much. It's still good, and it's still great. And yeah, it can also be comfort food. The thing about comfort food is, people like it because it tastes good, and you can eat a lot of it. If you're here for a real full episode of the Let's Play, I apologize. Hopefully next week I get back on my feet and we get back at it. I promise when we do return, we'll make some real progress, and I won't leave anything too significant out. Another thing that Minecraft will constantly do to you is it'll surprise you when you least expect it. And sometimes that leads to a unique adventure. Have a good one. You're probably wondering how I got here. Crap. But really, the more important question is, how do we get out of here? It was not my intention to go on a deep mining excursion. Still a little sick, you can probably tell in my voice, but I was trying to get some content out anyways, so you may have seen the most recent video where I talk about Minecraft nostalgia. And when I was filming that, just as I started to wrap up, you may have noticed that I poked myself through a little hole, and I fell really far. Somehow I landed in this little puddle stream here, but now that we're here, I guess we'll take advantage of this massive cavern, and you can see what might be our first diamonds. I didn't really come prepared. Luckily I was wearing armor because I was doing some mining and just didn't want to get surprised by a bunch of monsters in some caves. Let's pick through these walls some a little bit, I guess. We're not seeing too many mobs. There was a skeleton, but I murdered him before I locked myself in a little cubby. My voice isn't still fully back, so apologies if the talking's a little hard to understand or mumbly, or if I'm just straight up not talking as much as usual, but I really want to make some progress, dig some stuff out, get Greg's Tavern done. And the other goal of this episode was going to be to make a mine entrance, but I don't know if we're going to make it to that now, since we now have to make a grand escape from some deep abyss below our base, so let's pick through some of these ores and hopefully not die to a falling creeper somewhere. First things first, let's get our first diamonds. Do I have a bucket? I do have a bucket of water. This probably should be in my inventory. Typically I like to get like, I don't know, 5 diamonds or something like that. Enough to make a pick, and then also enough for like an enchant table. And then I wait usually after that until I have either fortune or efficiency, until I have fortune and can start doubling my ores, just because I hate the idea of potentially losing out on materials. Especially with the limited amount of time that I have to play, you want to maximize your income. It's not going to come in on us, right? The first diamond. I don't think I mentioned it in the last episode either, but we did actually switch to complementary shaders. They're a little bit closer to the original Minecraft aesthetic, and the graininess from the BSL shaders was just starting to get to me, so we switched back to the complementary, and we're gonna rock this for a little while. We'll see. I don't know. I like change. I like to mix it up. We may end up doing something different eventually, but for now, this is what we're rocking. It didn't work at all how I wanted it to, but whatever. Is that just one diamond? Sad. That's the thing with these surface diamonds, is obviously they're a lot easier to find, but you don't seem to find the volume that you do when you're mining diamonds in like a strip mine, for instance. There seems to be just enough glow lichen and lava in this cave that we're not really getting a lot of spawns. I guess we should probably grab some redstone too while we're here. I don't tend to go too hard in the redstone creations, but we may want to make like a sugarcane farm or something, so we'll need some redstone eventually here. This is a really cool cavern, but I think we're a long ways away from a deep Minecraft cavern overhaul. So for now, we'll keep our eyes set on something more realistic. How many does that give us? We're at 3 diamonds. Let's grab these 2 that were up on the wall. And then, I guess we'll just try to swim back up this water pillar. I don't know. We're not in a great spot here. This will be really good in the future, though, for finding materials and stuff, so I'm glad that we found a cavern. I definitely want a big cavern area near our base, but not exactly what I was looking for in this moment. There it is. 5 diamonds. Alright, that gets us enough for our diamond pickaxe, and we'll be able to make an enchant table. And once we get some enchanted gear, then we'll do some more mining. Again, I want to build the mine, at least the mine entrance hopefully this episode, but we'll see how far we get. As you can tell, my voice is, it's still fighting for its life, so I'll record as long as I can, but without feeling like I'm going to do some damage, and then we'll pick up in the future. Hopefully I kick this thing next week and we can get back to a regular scheduled episodes. Scheduled. That's what I meant to say. Newcomers from the last episode, what do you think of the topic-y episodes? I know obviously I wasn't as Let's Play focused, and you know, you could see me building the tavern and you could see me collecting resources, but obviously I did a lot more with replay mod and third-person mode. Do you like that kind of perspective, or do you prefer this first-person more walk and talk and, you know, go through the action with me? Let me know what you think. That episode was fun to make, but honestly, even though the recording didn't take nearly as long, the editing was significantly longer. Which worked out, because I couldn't talk, but I did have nothing to do but sit around and edit, so... One of these pillars goes all the way up. No. Where do we see that water pillar? Huh. I guess we'll just ride this one up. And then from there, we'll just nerd pillar to the top from there, I guess. This cavern is huge. I'm sure there's a lot more diamonds and a lot more gold and materials I can get out of here, but it's not what we're going for right now. We are going to have to build our nether portal too, which is a big reason also why you need the, oh crap, the initial, that's not good. Which is why we need the initial diamonds for pick, so that we can get some obsidian. Is the biggest thing. Okay. That didn't get us even close to the top. How many blocks do we have? Well, we don't have that many blocks. Oh, we need lapis too. Oh crap. You can't enchant without lapis. I think we actually found some lapis. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. I don't want to lose all my stuff. So we're just gonna make a grand escape. We'll be back. I actually don't know how close we are to that strip mine I was messing around with. If you saw in some of the clips, I kind of converted that local little cave into just a quick iron and stone gathering strip mine. And then, you know, this is where we ended up. I thought that was going to be our first death for sure. I physically reacted during the fall. Well, we're getting some decent iron out of this and stuff, so it's not all for naught. And we did survive, so can't complain, I guess. Is this the same cavern? Do we just... Oh jeez. Yikes. Let's, oh, actually I want that coal. We're not doing great on coal either, so... Oh, he's tricky. Get over... Oh, jeez. Well, if it was just the one creeper, maybe we should take some more advantage of our little find here. This is actually the kind of cave I was looking for. This is a lot closer. Copper, iron, not as much materials as I was hoping for, but there's some iron in here. We'll gather this coal, gather this iron. We won't dilly-dally too long, though, because again, this is not what our objective was. If you're wondering about the glowing ores, that's actually the complementary shaders. It highlights ores a little bit. It's a cool aesthetic. Might be a little bit cheaty, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's opinion, but I did think aesthetically it looks cool in the cave, so I'll keep it on. Wonder if we can find a natural cave exit here. None of this is really sloping upward. The old-fashioned way. Hopefully we're not underneath the bay. I don't think we've moved that far, but... Oh, dirt. That's a good sign. Doesn't necessarily look like daylight, does it? Oh, what is this weird... We've got grass in here, but... Ah, freedom. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to put a sign up in that mine because that is dangerous. Where are we at? Oh, okay, we're just around the bay a little bit. I didn't realize we moved so far. Well, I started planting some spruce trees. I think I want to do like a bunch of spruce trees around this woodcutting village, because just something about really tall trees in the forest kind of screams woodcutting village to me. Ah yes, Greg's Tavern. It's looking a little plain. We definitely want lanterns. The torches look like crap. And we need some bushes and trees and landscaping around it, but, you know, it's a simple town, a simple village. And we don't have that many blocks right now. And I should have been running because it's turning to nighttime. Oops. You may have also seen in some of the clips we got our cow farm going a little bit. Some chickens. Nothing fancy yet. Just getting the initial materials out of the way. I think we'll sleep under our tree tonight. The interior's not done yet either, as you undoubtedly noticed in the commentary of the last video, but we were getting there. Yeah, I want to throw a hanging sign here, throw some torches. That block hangs a lantern, so I'll put a lantern above each window. But we had to get the shape done and get the building at least functional. We still need to dig out the basement as well. This is where our actual storage is going to go, so... I mean, I cleaned the walls up in here, but it's still not done, obviously. So this will just be storage basement. I've got a decent design that I've used in other worlds I'll probably use down there. You'll get a look at that this episode, hopefully. So, yeah, let's plant a couple strategic trees around here, fix the grass up a little bit. We need to get some shears, get some leaves, there's some bushes, and just do a little detailing around this thing and help plunk it in the actual environment here a little better. I think we have got a little bit of bone meal, so we'll do that, and then we'll start scouting out an area for our mine entrance, I think. So we don't have enough bone meal to grow these trees, but the way I like to do it is kind of plant down a sporadic amount like this, and then kind of see what generation you get. Obviously, in a perfect world, we'd do some custom trees, and we probably will eventually, but for now, hopefully we get some decent generated ones, and we'll just cut down the ones that don't look good for spacing and stuff like that. We're going to need to extend the front of this out a little bit too. For now, we'll probably go with just standard path blocks, but eventually we will go with some kind of gravel, probably with some wood planks and trapdoors and stuff mixed into a path. We want to keep this pretty rustic, so there won't be any bricks or cobblestone or anything like that. Maybe, you know, a cobblestone or a rock here or there to make it look like a rock in the path, but for the most part, just beaten paths. We're going to build a little dock area eventually, so we'll need a path going down to the water, and I think the mine is going to end up going over here in this direction. Somehow I want to incorporate this weird sand generation we got, where the cove kind of ends and you have this drop off. I need to fix some of the sand, obviously, to make it look a little prettier, but I'm thinking maybe just into the side of this little knoll here. You got a little watery entrance too. Something about this just seems like a good area to me. It's a little bit of a walk from the house, but we need a reason to move and explore the area, so I think this will be the mine entrance area-ish. But for now, let's cut some more leaves and do a little more decorations around the tavern. I think we'll also haul the basement out right now too, so you can get a look at what the storage is going to be. I think we have enough wood to make the chests, actually. Maybe we'll actually work on that too. Get our storage moved into the house. There's not much wood here, but I know there's a bunch more wood down by our little tree base there, so. And then I'm also going to grab some saplings and plant some more of these spruce trees to start making this look like a dense forest. I guess we could also incorporate this area back here into our mine entrance, but it's such a big hole. I'm just not even really sure what the entrance would look like. I mean, we could do some kind of spiraling staircase. Typically I like to do like water elevator drops up and down to like different elevations for my mines. And this would require a lot more walking up and down if we were to build like a staircase or something that goes down around. So this may just be an interesting feature and part of our bombs dropping lore in the area. This is just a crater I've been pretty into the Fallout show lately. If you haven't seen it yet, I recommend checking it out. I don't think it sticks 100% to the lore of Fallout, but it has the exact same feel, which is really what matters with something like that, and I think they did a really good job. It kind of inspired me a little bit. I actually considered building like a vault, like a Fallout-style vault in the side of this exploded cliff, so we can maybe have some lore later on where there's a Fallout colony living in one of these vaults in the side of the hill, because you have this like town. So, you know, you picture a Fallout game, you come out, you look across the huge field, and then you find a neighboring town who's, you know, alive and well and flourishing, and, you know, kind of makes it feel like, why were you locked in a vault for 200 years when you could have just been outside? We're not getting a lot of flowers, but we don't have a lot of bone meal either, so we get what we get. We'll probably build a mob farm next episode, probably. Once the mine's done, we'll be able to do, you know, relatively efficient resource gathering at that point. And we'll have storage in the basement here, so that'll be done off the list. And then we'll just need an efficient way to get, you know, XP and mob materials and things like that. So we'll probably build the generic mob farm. I'll show most of the process. It's an older style that you don't see used a lot on YouTube these days. Mostly probably because a lot of people play on servers, and it's not ideal for a server because it relies on just like base mob spawns. But when we're not on a server, we don't really need to rely on mob spawners specifically, so it should work fine for what we need it for. Alright, we'll wait for the trees to grow, and we'll haul out a little area for our storage down here. I don't know how big I'm going to make this yet, but you'll see right after this time lapse, probably. And there it is. I don't think it's gonna serve us infinitely all the way into endgame, but it's definitely a good start for a storage room. This ought to hold everything we could possibly need for a while. I thought about potentially, you know, we can do like overflow storage, maybe throw like a couple chests of like, I don't know, sugarcane and stuff like that. I might make like a little door here and then just like line the wall or something with extra chests. Things for like bamboo and sugarcane. We'll make little doors probably to go back into extended storage if we get a bunch of something, but this will hold all of the important items at least. I did do item frames. I know it can get a little bit laggy, but this storage room's pretty small, so I don't think it's going to work too much. I didn't use this wall at all either. I think eventually this is going to lead to where the guy that owns the tavern is going to sleep, Greg. This will be his room down here. We'll work on that later. But yeah, this is it. This is our storage for now. Let's go back upstairs and sleep, and then decorate the exterior a little bit more. Throw some bushes up, get these trees growing, and probably run down and grab some dirt too, just to fix the landscaping around the immediate area real quick. I can't believe none of these trees grew. Oh well, we're gonna use what little bone meal we have to... Oh crap, are these dark oak? Did I grab the wrong saplings? Oh, I'm an idiot, that's why. Well, oopsies. Grab these up real quick. That would have been really unfortunate. Explains why not a single one of them grew, because I'm a big dummy. That's okay. We'll grab these, we'll grab some dirt, and we'll do a little landscaping real quick. Let's just place these back down again here real quick, and spread them out a little bit in the area. Again, we're not being too specific. We'll come back and trim the ones that don't look good, the ones that grow weird, like little bushes or something, or if the placement doesn't feel right. It's just easier for me to see it when there's an actual full-size tree there. And obviously we can always cut them down later for paths and things like that, but that'll get us started. You can see this is why you plan your builds ahead of time. This is the roof of our storage area. I thought about just carving it back some and just having like a weird lip down there, but I think I may try to just kind of decorate around this. So I wonder if we just throw some like bushes in the windows to help break up the stone a little bit. It's gonna be a little overgrown in the front of the shop. Throw some stones like that, and then maybe... Oh crap, stone is It's stone for stone buttons. We'll throw a couple stone buttons too. This one block, honestly, is like these corner ones. Where did these land? It is above a chest, so unfortunately we can't do a full block or the chest won't open. Is this one also above a chest? It is. Okay. So we'll just get a better color block. We'll do like a wood plank or something like that. Actually, I have some right here. Let's just do it right now. It's going to look a little bit weird down inside, but it'll blend a lot better up here. This should be some kind of green moss or something, but for now, that'll have to do. We're making it work with our limited resources to start here. I'll grab some buttons too to place around the area, and this will just be kind of a nice little overgrown outcropping. You gotta make do with your own mistakes sometimes in Minecraft, so it'll be a fun little thing to remind us of, you know, dig one block deeper next time, you know? We don't have much blown meal, but I really want to see what this looks like. Oh, no. Let's go. Oak saplings. Okay. Man, I was just about to say that we don't have enough bone meal, and then all of a sudden we dropped like 10 on one tree. Man, these things really eat it up. It's okay. And then I do want... Oh! That's actually kind of... I like the varying heights. We did decent there. Again, we'll trim these, and at some point we'll do custom trees, but for now, this will work. Just don't want the area to be... Oh, look at that. This bone meal works so good, it grew that tree over there. Ah, so close. We'll throw down a couple extra flowers in the area, too. I feel like we didn't get super lucky. Actually, this area is pretty well coated. If anything, there's too many of these yellow ones. Just like that. We're out of bone meal, so we can't pretty this up anymore. The grass didn't grow super good here, but... Okay, we'll make it work. There you go. Those trees will grow up. This area will fill in a little bit more too behind the shop. We want to keep it a little more open back here because you want to be able to sit here and enjoy the view of our magnificent cliffs over there. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's fix the front yard a little bit here with some dirt. I do want the ground to step down a little bit here, but this is a little extreme, so we'll cover this up a little bit. Level things out. It's always hard when you're landscaping and doing things like this, you know. How much do you decide to work with the environment and how much do you change it to fit, you know, your vision? You know, it's funny, I don't actually know like what pattern is the best for like rounding a curve, but your brain can just like see when it's too many blocks, if that makes sense. Like it just won't quite look right if you don't have the blocks correctly spaced. No, my shovel broke. I think the just is there. I didn't necessarily plan the sun very well here. It's kind of behind our building, but it'll be nice in the back patio when you're eating breakfast. And there it is. Greg's Tavern. We still need a sign. We still need lanterns. But it at least exists in a functional state now. We'll do some more decorating on the interior. We need to fix up those bedrooms upstairs with some actual bookcases and shelves and stuff. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to the mines today. I'm running out of steam pretty quickly here with my voice. But that gives us something to look forward to next episode. Interior design needs a little bit more work. We'll work on that. Let the trees grow up some more. We'll fix our path up a little bit. I think next episode, again, I think our focus is going to be get the mine up and running. We're going to have to go to the nether. So we'll probably dig the mine out, or at least the tunnels, and use ladders for a little bit because we'll need soul sand for the elevator. But I really prefer using water elevators for mines because you go so deep now, it takes so long to climb up and down ladders, so bubble elevator is really the way to go. We may even enter the nether in our next episode. I think I'm on the mend at this point, so by next week, hopefully I've got some energy back, and my voice has recovered a little more, and we'll be able to get a lot more done. But if you made it this far in the episode, I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. How's it going? We need to get to work. We've got a lot to do this episode. First things first, I'm just still not happy with the front of Greg's Tavern. I realize it's in our initial build and we have limited blocks, but I'm gonna go make the lanterns real quick. I'm gonna make some fence posts, add a little bit more texture to the front here, maybe add like a little lean-to for some horses on the side, and then we'll finally get started on the mine. I need to leave Greg's in a better place before we move on, so let's go do that real quick. The good news is my voice has recovered quite a bit, so we should be able to get a very productive episode in this week. I'm excited to finally make some real progress. We're definitely going to get that mine entrance done. We'll get our mine levels down, and then if we get lucky and hit some lava early, we may or may not make our nether portal today. Let's see how it goes, though. I don't want to overpromise. I feel like I've overpromised a couple episodes already and underdelivered, so today we'll underpromise and hopefully overdeliver. What else was I here for? I came over here for something very... Oh, oak logs. Yeah. I'm also grabbing some oak logs. Oh, crap. That's what I came here for specifically, and I didn't even grab it. To make some lanterns. Excuse my inventory. I don't know what it is. You know, I am typically someone that is just meticulous with my inventory, but a couple things. I don't like wearing the armor for these Let's Plays because I like my skin. I spent a lot of time crafting and perfecting this beautiful face, and I don't want to cover it up constantly, so I need to get some kind of texture pack that hides my armor or something because I just don't like covering it up. It's very dangerous, but we're still deathless on this server, so I guess it's not too dangerous. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, remember when I got that jungle wood so I can make scaffolding? Yeah, I still haven't done that, so... Old-fashioned way. Alright, that should look significantly better out here out front. Already. Just throwing a little bit of detail in there. Yeah, much better. Now I'll throw some spruce trap doors on the connection points. I'm sure I have some over there, but I don't want to walk. And I don't think you want to hang out while I do. How many should we need here? 6? That's probably not enough. We'll throw these in the, like, so it's like the anchor for the cross-section ones. Yeah, much better. This is way more bulky and big than I originally imagined. Realistically, as I look at this more and more, I think I would have preferred to have not done this post and beam style with the supports and just had these textured in with the walls. Because that could have saved us, you know, 2 blocks off either end and 2 blocks off the face and the rear. I wanted it to feel more like a small, cozy tavern, but it's so hard to get a functional interior on a smaller building like that, so we went a little bigger than we probably should have, so that's what we're here for. We're here to learn and get better at this, and hopefully you're willing to sit through that with me. Okay, there it is, the face of Greg's Tavern. We might do a little bit more touch-up work. Again, I want to add some kind of, like, horse stable here. There's a bunch of horses around here. We actually did fish up a saddle. I think I lost the clip, actually, in one of the replay mod clips that we lost last episode. So I don't have it on camera, but we fished up a saddle so we can get a horse when we're ready. But that's not priority. So first things first, let's build a little quick path down over to here where our main entrance is going to be. Someone commented last video, I think his username was, excuse me, I'm gonna butcher this. I don't know if it's Swedish or, but I believe his username was Cruentus. You can correct me again in the comments if you're watching this now. But he recommended a water feature coming down this, and actually, kind of funnily enough, there's one singular block of water that runs down the center of this bowl. This is also right behind the tavern. I don't know if I showed the proximity of this hole in the last video either, but the inn is right there, so this could be, he said he recommended a secret entrance, I think, and that's not a bad idea, but I also think that this could be like maybe the builder's entrance. So when they are initially mining out and excavating down into the mine, they may go for a more traditional, you know, path excavated with staircases and stuff, and then eventually move forward to the water elevator drop zone. And we're probably going to do that in reverse because this will be a pretty massive build to build the staircase down into here. And I do like the idea of like a river either running out of these rocks and falling down into a pond, or somehow coming over the top of here. I don't know exactly, because there's this opening here, so we could have some kind of water feature coming out of there and falling down into the cliff, but either way, I agree, I think there's something here. We definitely have to use this for something. There's some more water actually falling down right there. But we'll make it look prettier and do like a cool fountain at the bottom that it lands in, or like maybe a pond where the bottom of it is all etched out from the water falling over it for years. We'll make it work. We need to plant more trees too. I'll be honest, on initial inspection, I think one of our trees is immediately already in our way. So let's see, do we want to curve around it? I want this area to feel, again, rural and secluded and like, you know, it's a settlement, right? There are people that live here, there are woodcutters. We'll build some more houses for the actual woodcutters in the environment. maybe even like a tiny shop. So you have like the tavern, a shop, and some houses. It's going to be a very small little village. But I don't want it to be like an urban road area. So I do want it to kind of feel like it's one with the environment that it's in. So we want to keep the paths tight and kind of claustrophobic and not well kept, because they're more like worn areas where, you know, common traffic areas happen. But we'll have to do a little landscaping too, because I don't love the beach encroaching so far. We'll probably push the grass out a little bit, where this kind of almost looks square, but we'll fix that. And then let me find out exactly where we want to hit here. I like to keep my paths typically like 3 blocks wide, and we're gonna go right into this annoying water. I think this is the entrance to our mine right here, this face. I don't know if the vision is there for everyone looking at it, but I can almost see the overhang of the mine entrance here. You'll see when we start digging the actual tunnel down to the depths, kind of what I mean when I say I do like I do a full drop into a water, because obviously that's the fastest way to get down there. And then I'll do like a bubble elevator, which kind of always goes fully top to bottom. And then we'll have a third lane, which kind of takes you to like the iron level or lapis level, where you don't really find those ores as much down by deep slate anymore. Yeah, we're gonna have to push back this little pond some. I like the idea of having a little water feature here, especially with shaders. It's just always kind of nice to have water around, but see where this kind of spills out? I think we'll actually just use that as like a natural endpoint for the water. Okay, so that gives us a good target for our path. Let's start kind of snaking back towards where we already created. We want to stay near this water, but we want to leave room. I'll probably put some fence posts. You know, the workers are going to want to avoid falling in the water. And then we're also going to have to ease this hill a little bit, because this is pretty steep. Probably at least a 2-block ledge here. We'll use some like slabs and stuff to kind of make this a much more walkable path too, but this is a little bit of an extreme slope. It wouldn't really make sense for someone to build a staircase down such a steep embankment, right? You would have built the path around the other way or something. But where we want our path specifically here, we gotta make the environment fit a path. Actually, you know what? Looking at this, we'll just remove this whole layer, because it kind of is a weird outcropping anyway. So if we rip this off, that gives us two. We'll have to knock another layer off here and here. Let me go get another shovel, because apparently ours was very low on life. Well, we took too long getting a shovel, so I think we'll sit here and enjoy a nice sunset while we wait until the game will let us sleep. Because Mojang does not believe in naps. Wish the night wasn't so dangerous, because with shaders, it's just a great ambiance. The sun setting just over the ridge, some light clouds, the galaxies. It's pretty beautiful. It's unfortunate that the monsters we created during the Great War plague us during the darkness, but the night sky is beautiful. I know that probably seemed kind of silly to carve the edge of this cliff off just for a little walking path, but I really do think it's like the little touches like this, where this feels more like a natural path to the mine entrance, versus, you know, either going around the hill or jumping up a block every step on a cliff. I mean, this will allow us to put like a wood plank there and still have path blocks intermixed for the path. And this just feels like, oh, the cliff's turning, so we'll go naturally in this direction. And then, oh, there's a pond here, so we'll kind of curve back towards the, you know, I don't know. It makes sense in my brain. So that's kind of where my head's at with doing things like this with my paths. Also, we need to fix stuff like that, but that's fine. All right, where did we leave off? I see it there. Okay. We want to do a straight shot. Well, actually, we'll curve this thing a little bit more, kind of back away from the sandy beach area. Again, I want to knock this beach back some, but even still, I think I'd rather keep the path a little bit away from it. All right, we'll grab a few more lanterns. We're not going to fully decorate the mine entrance right now. I just want to kind of get the shape down. So we'll grab a few more lanterns. so that we can decorate it immediately, even though I just said that we wouldn't. And then I think I want spruce logs for the supports, because let's be honest, spruce is just the most versatile wood. 5 lanterns. That's exactly how many I wanted. We'll keep the fence posts as well. Those are useful. We may decorate our path some too. We'll throw some fence posts down by the path. It's not a bad idea while we're at this. What else? Oh, I kind of need stone. I'm just gonna waste the coal. Use up 8 coal. We need stone to be able to start mixing into some of our cobble, because if we just keep hitting cobblestone everywhere, it's not gonna work out. It's kind of annoying to waste coal on something like that so early. Oh look, we did that earlier. Apparently we were thinking ahead. And we'll grab some andesite. Andesite, stone, cobblestone. We only have 26 cobblestone. We're going to get some more as we're hollowing out, so we shouldn't need more of that. We've got spruce logs and fences. Oh, I wanted a barrel. What's a barrel? Is it slabs? I've kind of been thinking a lot lately about how I want to handle resource grinds moving forward. So the issue that I'm trying to get through is like, I want to make progress on these episodes, but I also want to keep them slow paced. I know it seems like it's probably like it's kind of a double negative, I guess, in a way, where it's like, oh, I want to get things done, but I want to do that slowly. So here's what I'm considering. There's kind of 2 options the way I see it. We can just continue to kind of have these kind of slow baby steps through our world in episodes, and I'm fine with that, I think, as long as, you know, you guys are too. But then the other option is I'm considering live streaming once a week. I don't have a schedule yet, and I definitely have a very limited schedule in general, even just to get these videos out once a week. But I'm thinking if we can live stream once a week, it'll give whoever wants it the chance to watch the VOD back if they want to see actually kind of every moment in the Let's Play. And that'll allow me to kind of gather resources, kind of just do like, they would strictly be either mining or wood chopping or digging up deserts for sand, you know, the monotonous tasks that you kind of have to go through. Fishing, maybe, if I want to try to get a bunch of fishing resources. You get the kind of idea. And maybe here and there, I would do some kind of like paths, especially once we start getting the villages kind of farther apart from each other. You know, building a path 600 blocks, it just takes a long time, but I think it is worth it. And I think a live stream is a good place for that stuff to happen. So let me know if you'd be interested in a live stream. I'm not sure that we have enough people following the journey right now to justify something like that, but I've streamed to 0 people before, so I'm not afraid to do it again. And it still gives you the opportunity to watch the VOD anyway, so it's not like you have to make it to the live streams. So that might be how we move forward. I'm still definitely not 100% decided on that, and I'm not ready to start live streaming right now anyway, so we've got time. But just a thought. For now, you know, we'll make what progress we can make while keeping everyone along for the ride, so. And we didn't bring enough spruce logs, or we did? We did bring enough. Let me dig through these walls, and you can watch it in a much faster pace, and we'll get stuff lined up here. Okay, so hopefully I painted a mental picture enough that this makes sense. So we've got 3 chutes, one for kind of a middle depth, one for the deepest depth, and one for our bubble elevator to get back up. I should have made this maybe a little bigger. I realize now it's kind of hard to texture and detail this. Maybe we'll rough the ceiling up a little bit. The question is, where do we put bubble in the middle and then like shallow and deep? I think that makes sense. Because you want to always come up the middle, maybe? I guess it doesn't really matter. Because when you're down in the mine, you won't be able to orient yourself to where you were offset versus the other things. But I'm thinking bubble elevator in the middle, shallow on the left, deep on the right. Because that would make sense to me mentally, I think. And again, unfortunately, for now, we're just using ladders, but eventually it'll be a bubble elevator. The thing about a walking path is you want to be able to walk on it, so I don't want to have to jump pretty much ever. This is still a little too straight for my liking. We'll extend this side. We need like trees, I think, is the biggest issue, is that this is still so wide open. But this part of the path is going to need some kind of figuring out. It needs some work. This is definitely our most dull area. Anyway, back to what we were really trying to get done here. Let's start digging down. This is probably the most dangerous part, considering we already know there's a giant cavern underneath our base somewhere. For now, we'll just dig it down as one long strip here, and then we'll stop when we hit, like, I can't even remember what the good iron level is, but it's probably like, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10. We can adjust that. I might have to do some research to figure out what the perfect level is for middle depth. And then deepest, and then this one is also deepest because the bubble elevator, you'll be able to step into it at any level, and it'll take you to the top no matter what. So that's fine. Okay, start digging down. Alright, we got a little sidetracked in that little cavern down there. It's time to test our first drop here. If we plan this correctly, we should be totally fine to drop to our first level. And then we'll keep digging down. That cave, I thought was going to be amazing. It was actually pretty short-lived. Unfortunately, it is also not the exact Y level. Ah, beautiful. I knew that was going to work. And unfortunately, I wanted to stop at Y level 16. I think at 16, you still can get coal, technically. So I like to stay up a little bit, and you can still get lapis and iron, so it's like coal, lapis, iron. It's a decent level for that stuff. But unfortunately this floor is like 8 or 12 or something like that, so we'll have to walk up there and then strip mine from there probably, but it's kind of a cool entrance still. We'll pretty this area up and make the drop into it cooler, and obviously this will get closed in more and be a bubble elevator as we talked about before, so step in, zip, zoom up to the top. So for bubble elevators, you have to have signs, and then this will be a water block. So this will come out 2 more like that. And then there you go. You'll zoom up to the top instead of using a really long ladder. But for now, it's a ladder. So we'll keep going down to, not bedrock, but I don't know, what, negative 56 or so probably. A little bit off of the bottom. Hopefully we find some lava, and, oh, we didn't make our, or we'll find, if we find some lava, we'll run back up and grab our diamonds so we can get some obsidian and step into the nether. Okay, we found some lava. This is not a huge pool. Hopefully it's more than 1 layer deep. Unfortunately, we forgot to get that second bucket of water, and we forgot to refill our first bucket of water. So we're going to have to take the slow way down and the slow way up and get our diamonds, and then come back here, grab some stuff, go back up, make our portal, and then I think this episode will just peak in the nether. We'll see. We'll see if I'll show it this episode or not. Have to wait till the end, which is, you know, not going to be long because I'm probably just going to time lapse or cinematic shot the way back. So we'll be back here in a jiffy or a snap or, you know, something fast. Our first diamond pickaxe. Yoink. Okay. 2 buckets of water. Diamond pickaxe. That can get us infinite water down there. Grab our obsidian. We'll come back, and I didn't anticipate this part, but I actually we'll have to build a temporary nether portal, because I do want to build some kind of structure or hidden cave or something cool for the nether portal. But for now, maybe we'll do Greg's Tavern's basement is like a D&D basement, and we'll make the portal down there. We'll play it by ear, but for now, let's get that done, and let's see what's on the other side. It is so unsatisfying that we can't just jump down the deep hole. It's such a bummer that we forgot our bucket. Imagine that, but just times 2. Okay, let's head down to Greg's basement and make a quick little portal room, and then let's see what's on the other side. If you made it this far in the episode, I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. Oh my. Hey, how's it going? I know I left you guys hanging in the nether last episode, and we'll get back there, but I think first things first this episode, we need to do some cleanup work. We've got all of our stuff sitting in those chests, we've got some unfinished texturing on the sides of Greg's Tavern we gotta do, and we need to gather quite a bit of resources for our spawner, which we're gonna build this episode. To start this episode, we're gonna plant some spruce trees and gather a bunch of spruce wood. And then we'll move our stuff out of our little initial starter base, starter tree fort, whatever you want to call it. We'll move our stuff out of our starter spot into the basement for some, more permanent and a lot more organized storage. We'll plant a bunch more spruce trees. I want to get this at least wrapped around to the edge of the cliff here so that we kind of have a wall and start bringing them towards the village here. And then after we plant those trees, we'll go to the nether, because I do want to get at least 1 block of soul sand. And once we have a block of soul sand, we can finish our little bubble elevator and make our mine fully functional. And then when our mine is fully functional, we can gather all the resources we need for the spawner. And then we'll build a spawner. Anyway, let's get to it. Well, I've decided to give up on planting the trees for now, for 2 reasons. One, we're about to build a mob spawner that's going to give us essentially infinite bone meal, and that's going to make this way faster. And 2, as part of the mob farm, we're probably going to build our enchant table. Since we'll have XP farm, we'll build an enchant table probably right at the spawner. So we'll have looting, because I'm actually getting terrible drop rates from these leaves. So I'm having to cut down the trees that actually generate well, just to get enough saplings to further grow more trees. So now I'm ending up with a bunch of these trees with like the little tiny leaf tops, and they don't look that good. So I'm gonna wait till we have looting and we have bone meal, and then we'll spread this. It'll spread much faster, and we can be more consistent, and we won't have as many of these bad trees in there. To be continued. I'm gonna encroach probably, I don't know, halfway between me and those trees. I'll probably encroach with the forest. It's not gonna come all the way up to the tavern, but I do want it to be close enough that it feels like the village is built on the forest. There we go. All of our stuff is moved into place. The organization isn't perfect for now. This is kind of how I usually do it, to a degree. This isn't a huge storage room again, so this isn't a perfect method, but this works pretty good, especially for a starter storage system like this. We don't have a lot of capacity, so we're definitely mixing and matching a lot of blocks, but keep like valuables in here. I try to sort things by row, like we know we'll have a lot of iron, so we'll need spaces. Same thing with like copper. And then like unique items, obviously like diamonds. Lapis will get a decent amount. That probably may make sense to have a row too, but things like diamonds and emeralds, or you're not going to have a bunch, at least at the start. Gunpowder, eventually it'll have its own chest, obviously, as we get a gunpowder farm. And that's why we leave some spots open to expand as we go. We have things like tools. This is like mob drops, tools. This is our first wooden pickaxe, still holding on to her. I separate my wood by logs, planks, and then you know, you always end up with like bits and pieces left over, stairs and trapdoors and things like that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Sand, you know, your stones, your dirts, your herbal supplements, and then this is kind of overflow, wool. This will probably be like nether blocks at some point. That's pretty much it. That's our storage system, and that should hold us over for a little while, and hopefully we don't outgrow it in like 2 episodes and have to build something else. But for now, that should be solid. We did take down the portal. That's gone now, so that's good. And again, as we talked about, this forest is ugly. Don't worry. It'll look better in the future when we have more resources. I think the next step is to get ourselves some kind of golden trim here. Actually, do we have gold? Maybe first step first is to get some gold, or we just risk it. I don't know. I'm feeling brave. Yep, we're just gonna risk it. We don't have any gold. We're gonna head to the nether, and our only objective while we're in there is, first of all, don't die. Second objective after not dying is just 1 piece of soul sand. 1 piece of soul sand, we can make our bubble elevator, and then we can efficiently go down to our mines to get the rest of the resources we need for our mob farm. One of the big things we needed was trapdoors, and we cut down a bunch of those spruce trees in an effort to grow that forest, so we're set on wood, so we can make plenty of trapdoors. We'll also need a decent amount of wool, actually, so hopefully I remember that when I'm kind of walking around here in the overworld to shear some sheep in the area. We don't need a lot of wool, but we need enough to prevent spider spawns. It would be nice to have string, but they just clog up mob farms, and it's just not worth having them, so we'll have to get rid of them. But for the most part, everything else will spawn in this mob farm, so we'll get skeletons, zombies, and creepers. We just don't want spiders because, you know, they just climb up, but they don't fall down. There's ways to prevent it. You can put like cactuses in there. It's just not worth it. Let's dump our valuable diamond pickaxe before we go in here, because I'm okay with losing our iron armor and stuff, but I do not want to lose the very few diamonds that we have. Water bucket's pretty much useless in there, so there's no reason to carry that. And we're not wearing gold, so we're gonna have to avoid piglins. We've got plenty of food and a working sword, and our armor is durable enough. If we're careful, oh, you know what? You always end up mining a lot of netherrack. We'll bring an extra pickaxe too. All right, for reals this time. Let's go back in the nether. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. We committed the cardinal sin pretty early here already. I was just thinking is we didn't bring any kind of flint or anything to relight this portal, so hopefully we don't get a gas spawn here to blow everything up. That's Crimson Forest. I don't believe there's any soul sand there, so we'll start heading, oh great, kind of away from that if we can here. Maybe we'll try to get some gold nuggets and just make something the old-fashioned way here. How many nuggets is it for an ingot? Because we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a helmet. Is it 9? Oh, you get a bunch though. Okay. We actually might just be able to make a helmet real quick. Maybe this is worth farming up real quick. Hold on a second. What's 9 times 5? 45? So we need 45 gold. Any more gold nuggets? Just, oh god. And there's our first death. So it was worth farming up the gold. Unfortunately, we didn't get it in time. Whoops. Oh, jeez. Well, that's the nether for you. That place is always bad. We are playing on hard difficulty, if that wasn't clear. I think I showed it in episode 1. I may not have, but yeah, this world is on hard. Eventually we'll want to cure villagers, so it kind of needs to be. And it seems like the way to play Minecraft, honestly. Even if it is a little frustrating sometimes. Can we sprint past him and get our stuff? We have no gold, not 1 piece. Jeez, that's unfortunate. Okay, we'll just dig into a wall, hopefully, and get enough nuggets. Could I have offered him a gold nugget? Would that have been enough? He's gonna camp this right out, isn't he? How good is he at avoiding lava? Not good. I think our safest bet is going to be to dig right into the walls here. Hopefully we get lucky and hit something. And hopefully one doesn't spawn behind us. Let's actually... just in case. Okay. Always nether in safety, boys and girls. Oh man, that's a bummer. I was hoping we could go deathless for a lot longer, but that's why we don't play hardcore. Alright, Now that we're a little safer to explore, we still have to worry about, is it hoglins, the big like boar-looking pig things? Anyway, we'll look out for them, but at least we won't be murked by one of those guys. I think he had an enchanted weapon or something too. He killed me quick. Just don't know if I'm brave enough to really like explore the Crimson Forest, because if we run into some of those boars, they're gonna knock us around and we're gonna go flying. I'm thinking we might go up in elevation a little bit. So typically with my, I don't think I talked about this yet, but typically I move my nether portal up to like, I can't remember what the roof of the nether is, but I come down from the roof of the nether like, I don't know, 15 or 20 blocks so that I can build like a cool tunnel through the nether and connect my portals. You can get on top of the nether, and while that is efficient, I just think it's more fun to actually tunnel through the nether, and it adds a little bit more complexity for your, you know, nether portal system. And I like to use the nether portals. I know some people are like, oh, travel through the overworld only. But if you make like cool tunnels with packed ice and stuff, and you can shoot boats down the tunnels and you decorate them or theme them based on the, like if you have a tunnel going to your mob spawner, maybe you put mob heads everywhere or something. I don't know, that was a bad example. If it's going to your prismarine farm, you make the walls out of prismarine, you get the idea. So I like to have my nether tunnel somewhere up high so that you're digging through mostly solid surfaces, but not on the roof because it just looks bad up there. And I guess you could theoretically build yourself a little enclosure around your nether pathways on the roof, but I think it looks better tunneling through. Just start digging through the walls and hopefully we pop out somewhere interesting. Not what we were looking for, but that is a fortress. So that's good. That's not too bad from our portal. It's, again, in a nightmare biome. We have so much Crimson Forest around us, but at least we know where the nether fortress is now. It's not an ideal location, but the search continues because, oh, is that soul fire? Is that blue fire is on soul sand only, right? Oh, perfect. So we just gotta get over there. So wait, so is this soul sand? This looks like netherrack in my shader. Well, that's confusing. Anyway, I think that might be soul sand, so we're gonna go over there. Alright, that gas was definitely trying to give us some trouble, and we tried to return it to sender, but he was not having it. But we got our soul sand, so that's good. Drop some nether blocks in our now dubbed nether chest. Need one soul sand for our elevator. And I didn't think about it, but we're actually... You know, it's funny, typically I would be so prepared for things like this, but when you're doing it in a Let's Play like this, man, it is just so easy to forget about the littlest things. We don't have a single piece of, is it seaweed or kelp or whatever? So the only way to get like a waterlogged tunnel like that is kelp it, which is the best option, to bone meal it from the bottom all the way up, or you delete blocks underneath it with something like sand to get a solid waterlogged thing. I also wasn't thinking, we're gonna need, you know, what is it, 120 blocks deep, so we're gonna need 120 bone meal. So, I don't know if you saw, but when we were in that soul sand valley, I'm sure I'll include it in one of the clips, there's some bones there. There's like a skeleton. I may run back into the nether, grab up that skeleton, and then if that doesn't quite get us enough bone meal, we can break down some of our sugarcane or wheat or something in a composter real quick to get the last few pieces. I really want that bubble elevator to be functional because it is just so nice that when you're going to mine, you can just drop down, get what you need, and get out of there. So back into the nether again. We got our soul sand, and we got it in a safe space now, so even if we perish to that annoying ghast. We'll be alright. Let's grab another pickaxe because we almost deleted this one. Digging through all the netherrack, as expected. Alright, let's go get some bones. Then we're going to have to go on a small adventure to find some kelp. Enough pieces, you know, literally we just need one piece that we can bone meal. I can't believe we never grabbed a piece of that when we were in all those waters. There's probably some right in the bay here, honestly, hopefully. I hope. Yeah, but we'll grab a piece of that, and then we'll go waterlog that mine. And, you know, still build a mob spawner eventually. Hopefully this episode isn't really long. Okay, we've got our kelp, our bucket of water, our signs, and our bone meal. Let's put our real helmet back on, and let's go make a bubble elevator. Sounds like rain. Yes. A beautiful day to be down in the mines. First things first, we need to get rid of these ladders, and we need to put signs in the entrances. And then, oh, I forgot. One more piece. We need the soul sand. We just went to the whole nether just to get the soul sand and didn't even bring it with us. All right, go grab that, and then we'll get rid of those ladders and put our signs up. Not really sure what I was thinking there. We need the bubble elevator to get back up. That's pretty dumb. So it's gonna be annoying, but we're gonna have to dig down with the water on our head. So let's get rid of all those ladders again. Alrighty, so now we just break this kelp, and hopefully we see bubbles, and that means we did it right. There they are. Okay, mine is functional. Yep, they do replenish your oxygen, although this is pretty quick, so honestly I don't think that's that big of an issue. I did think of that though, we don't have respiration yet, so looks like that won't be an issue. Yeah, you can shoot up to the top, you can drop midway, just like that. Shoot back up to the top. I probably should put a drop from the mid-level to the bottom. I don't know. It only takes a second to hop back in here and go the other way. And then this one drops you all the way down. Just like that. There you go. Mine entrance complete. Still want to decorate the actual landing zones for each level and do a little more detailing work on the actual mine entrance, but it's fully functional now, and that was the goal. Now, we're going to drop down to that mid-level and strip mine for a little while, because we need quite a bit of cobblestone for this mob farm. So that's our next step. I'm going to go clean out my inventory, grab some pickaxes, and mine a bunch of cobble. And then we should be ready to build the mob farm. Okay, I think we have everything we need. I'm a little nervous. I think we have like enough cobblestone. I originally was going to make this a 3-tier mob farm. I may play it safe and go 2. We'll build the first 2 and see how we sit on cobble. I really don't want to have to make a trip back just to finish the roof, so we'll see. But for this mob farm, you just need a bunch of cobble. You need a stack of spruce trapdoors for every level you want to build for the farm. And I make a 3x3 chute, or at least I have in the past, I should say. But using the carpets to effectively stop the spiders, I think we can go back to a 2x2 chute, which makes killing the monsters way easier. So we're going to risk it there, which is going to save us some cobble too, because the structure is just bigger if you make the water columns bigger. Oh, that's the other thing we need. We need 2 buckets of water, because we're going to need an infinite water source. And now we just need to get all this stuff out into the middle of the ocean, because my goal is to eventually make the farms in this world aesthetic. But for right now, we need functional before we can work on that. So we're gonna build just a functional farm where we can get our tools crafted and get some XP levels and just some, you know, useful materials like gunpowder and bones and things like that. So let's get this mob farm built. I'll probably step in here and there just to kind of explain functionally how it works, but for the most part, we'll just time-lapse this part because it is just a big ugly farm. And I'm gonna put it in the ocean for mob spawn reasons, so... And I'll put it around the corner and far enough away in an area I don't really think we're gonna build, and if we do, you know, eventually we'll build a better looking farm for this kind of thing. And we'll probably just tear this one down, so... For now, it just has to be out of the way and functional. I'll put it reasonably far away, but as I kind of talked about earlier, I'll probably link up a nether tunnel up around like Y level like 110 in the nether so that we can get there relatively quickly from this base or from this town, and it won't be too bad. We won't have to sail across the ocean in our boat every single time. Oh, there's another thing we need. I think we left our boat up in the water. Yeah, we've got our chest boat to help us transport the stuff, so even with the chest boat, we've got 2 inventories. I think we might have to make 2 trips. So as you can see, I did bring blocks to make a enchant table. Actually, I'll just make the enchant table now. So we got the 5 diamonds in that episode, 3 of them for our diamond pickaxe, and 2 of them for this enchant table. That's gonna let us get fortune, hopefully, on this diamond pickaxe, which will then allow us to get a lot more diamonds a lot faster going forward. So we're bringing the stack of lapis, obviously, too, to try to get that enchant. Anvil, grindstone. I'm bringing some stone bricks just to make the area that we're standing and killing look a little bit nicer, but again, we're not going purely aesthetic on this thing, it's mostly functional. And for now, we'll do ladders, because when we do put the nether portal in, we'll put the nether portal right up on the farm, so we won't actually have to climb up and down every time in the future, just for this initial build and until we link up our nether portal. I think that's everything. Let's just start moving the stuff there, set up a little base camp. Alright, so this is kind of base camp. We didn't have enough stone bricks, so, you know, we dirt pillared up, because eventually this will just get closed in when we have our nether portal. The nether portal will go right here, so we'll be able to walk right out into our farm. Get your enchant table, you know, anvil, grinding stone. These chests are just holding my building materials for now. We got a full inventory. I can get most of the farm built, but unfortunately I think we're going to have to make 1 trip up and down to get a little bit more cobble probably to finish it off. I'm bringing a crafting table with me on this first trip in hopes that I can make some slabs for the first floor and for the roof. And for like where the water flows, which you'll see in a minute. So yeah, this is your basic kill chamber. Just slabs over hoppers. You know, XP can roll off slabs nicely. I'm pretty sure like this, mobs can't see you. So underneath these slabs, you've got hoppers, which feed these chests, and that's it. We'll manually clean these out. Eventually we could put an item sorter, but when we get to the point that we're item sorting, honestly, like, we're not going to be using this farm anymore, so that works fine for now. We'll have to throw a lot of quivers and arrows and stuff down into the nothingness. I could also put hoppers underneath these, so I could put 2 chests and then hopper into those, and then 2 chests and hopper into those, and extend our storage a little bit if it's a little too finicky. Actually, you know what? We might have, because we didn't go with the, you know what, let's just do that real quick. That's actually not a bad idea. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hoppers. There we go. That's a little bit more storage. Because the bow drops from skeletons really do add up over time, it'll be nice to have the extra storage. Alright, so now we're going to build this up 22 blocks so that they're 1 hit when they land down here. And we can either punch them at first, or when we eventually get mending, we don't have to worry about using up our durability, we can just stab them. But it's nice at first because you will rip through some durability on an iron sword if you just try to punch everything. So we'll go up and build the first kill platform. I'll probably walk through the first kill platform and the way the water trenches work, it's all very straightforward. You probably have seen this farm a million times, but anyone out there who's new to this kind of stuff, this is definitely the easiest early game one for me, at least in my opinion, because it's just wood and cobblestone. You don't even really need the enchant table set up and stuff. I just like to do that because it's nice to have, obviously. All right, let's build up 22 blocks and build some floors. Okay, so this is what one level of the farm looks like. It's pretty simple. You just have 4 spawning platforms. They're all 8 blocks by 8 blocks. These carpets are blocking every 3 by 3 spawn area. And the tricky part and why the pattern looks really weird is that these trapdoors actually count. So this is a 3 by 3 area counting the trapdoors. So you need this carpet here, which is why you can't just do like here and then go 4 or whatever. So that you end up with this weird pattern, but this is the way to do it, trust me. I've tried doing it the other way and you will definitely still get spider spawned. You need to have trapdoors lining the edges of each kind of spawn platform because mobs don't see these as a dangerous fall. They just think it's a normal block and they walk right into your water blocks. Because the platforms are 8 by 8 blocks, that means that the pathway here is 8 blocks, which is how far water will flow. So if you put 2 blocks of solid water at the end of each of these, it perfectly flows and drops them down the chute. Now it's only a 2 by 2 chute, which for spiders would be a huge problem because they'd be climbing it up and clogging it all the time, but since we're blocking spider spawns, that's not an issue. So all we're gonna do is repeat this exact layout 2 more times above this. And by using slabs, I actually saved a significant amount of cobblestone. I'm like 99% sure mobs will spawn on a top slab, so we should be fine doing this. If nothing spawns in this thing, I'm going to be real bummed out. But so we'll repeat this exact same process 2 more times. All right, back to it. Get this thing done. And here it is, the mob farm. It's not pretty, but it is effective. We've got our enchant table, we've got our spot for our nether portal, and we've got a bunch of mobs just ready to give us their XP because they're so nice. So that's it. I mean, it's simple. There's not really much to say about it, honestly. Mobs spawn on each of the 3 platforms. They fall down to almost dead, and then you just kind of slash at them down here. Get the XP out the front through the slabs, and the loot falls down into these chests. The rates are pretty decent. I wouldn't say they're anything amazing. The only thing I'll warn you is that results may vary. If you do this like on a server and there's a lot of people on, people will spawn mobs in different areas of the world, and that affects the mob cap limit, which means you'll get less spawns in your spawner. So this works really well on single player games, but once you start getting into like multiplayer server stuff, these aren't as good. I mean, you can still get spawns. I mean, there's still, when people are moving, things are despawning and they'll spawn in your farm, but your rates will definitely significantly decrease. Like you can see here, I'm pretty quickly getting up to level 30. I think I may have been like level 20 when I was building this thing, so you get pretty decent XP. Yeah, that's it. I think next episode, we'll probably do some mining and get ourselves some diamond armor and diamond tools, and we'll do some enchanting. First things first, we'll probably enchant our diamond pickaxe. Let's do an enchant on it real quick, actually. Just to see what we get. Maybe we'll get lucky on the first enchant. I won't leave you guys hanging again like I did on the nether episode. We'll do 1 enchant this episode, and then hopefully we get fortune, and then we'll go for some more diamond hunting next episode. And the big thing I want to work on in the next episode is I want to bring villagers to our town and start building out some more smaller buildings in the town for the other woodcutting villagers to live in. Efficiency 4, that's not a bad start. Oh, dang. We'll keep trying next episode until we get at least fortune. But you can see by the time you craft and do your enchant and remove your enchant, you come back up here. If you kill everything in the chamber, you're almost back up to 30, so it's pretty quick. And then when you're cycling bad enchants, you just do like the level 1 enchant. To get 1 level back, you'll get that back almost instantly, so. And then you have the added bonus of you're getting bones and gunpowder and arrows. Having some bows early on never hurts, and then, you know, obviously the random other stuff you can randomly get in here, but that's it. That's the mob farm. We'll build another portal and link it up, so we don't have to sail across the ocean every time, and then this will be good to go for a while. We'll make a prettier one later, but this is functional and effective. You made it this far in the episode. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. Hey, how's it going? Let's get this pickaxe enchanted. We're shooting for fortune, unbreaking, efficiency. We've got 61 lapis and infinite XP because we built the mob farm. Let's see if we can get it done. I am not having the best luck. Efficiency 4, unbreaking 3, and fortune 2. Couldn't just give us the fortune 3. I think I'm going to keep trying. We're only about halfway through our stack of lapis. I really want to get fortune 3 specifically. Honestly, I could settle for a lower efficiency or unbreaking, and we can just use the pick to mine the important resource. I don't think I want to settle for less than fortune 3. We'll keep at it. Well, that was easy. It's like the next enchant. Fortune 3, efficiency 4, unbreaking 3. It's perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. Now, we're going to go mining. We're going to get a bunch of diamonds, hopefully. Once we get some diamonds, we'll make our tools, the rest of our tools, I should say, and then we'll start building out the village and bringing some villagers into the town. Let's go get to work. Alright, our first diamond strip mining with our brand new fortune pickaxe. Let's see how lucky we can get. Oh! What have you up to that? Well, what do we got here? Oh? Oh! Well, not bad for our first little pocket here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. I'm not sure that I've ever... Oh, it just keeps going. Well, we're not going to have to mine for very long, I don't think. Looks like we're going to get most of our tools done almost immediately. This is literally... I came down into this mine shaft and started digging out straight from our drop. So the lava we found down that way. But I wanted to make the center mine shaft first, where all my branches are going to come off of. So I dropped down, just started tunneling this way. I hadn't even really started branching yet because I like to kind of make a long tunnel first and then make my branches off of that. And we found this absolute massive haul of diamonds. This is insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 8, 13 diamond blocks. Let's see what we actually get out of this thing. I'm hollowing this out because I think we have to. It's going to destroy the aesthetics of our perfectly clean strip mine, but we'll repair the walls afterwards. One thing I don't know if Minecraft gets enough credit for is its sound design. Every time they add a new block now, it has such a satisfying breaking sound. Alright, 13 diamond blocks, fortune 3 pickaxe. Let me know down in the comments. How many are we going to get? 1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. Never mind, 14 diamond blocks. Alright. That looked like a lot. We better check this though, because that block was a little bit adjacent, so there's just the slightest chance. No, okay. 14 diamond blocks. I guess that's a decent little chunk, you know. 14 raw iron ore. Alright, we over doubled, so that's good. 33 diamonds. That's enough for our full armor set. So it's 24 for the armor set, I believe, and then you're gonna have 6 and 3 left. So 9 left. does that make our 2, 3, 6? So yeah, we have enough diamonds to make all of our tools and even a hoe, which is pretty important actually, because I want to get a hoe with fortune to get the leaves so we can work on those spruce trees. Well, my intention was to get a little bit more mining in here, so I think I'm gonna keep going, but I mean, we're kind of already done, so we'll just keep mining just to build up some resources while I have a minute, and then yeah, we'll go back, craft some stuff, and enchant all of our new gear after I fix this hole, because we can't be having this big ugly hole in our strip mine. I mean, this is ridiculous. Are these two separate diamond mines? It seems like they're too far apart to be the same one. Oh yeah, they're gonna be two separate ones. Well, I guess we got a pretty decent seed for ores, or I just picked the absolute perfect spot to start digging. Okay, maybe we ran out a little bit of luck with this one. Is it just one single? Oh, nope, still. That's pretty crazy to have a 14 block diamond vein. Oh, and there's 2 more down here. Right into, oh, 3 more down here. Right into another decent little vein. Well, we no longer have to mine for diamonds for a little while. We should be good there unless we die and lose our stuff. Part of my goal with getting villagers here is I think we're going to make the tavern keeper our mending seller. I don't know. Lore-wise, I don't know if it makes sense, but I just think it's fitting where Greg is the only real character we've put into our universe yet. It seems like he should be the one to hold the almighty mending book. So I think Greg's going to be our mending salesman. His aesthetic won't really match a tavern either, but that's okay. Well, again, the other diamond ore blocks were right here, so we made it another, I don't know, 15 blocks and had to stop again. We'll keep mining, and I'll check back in if, you know, anything else interesting happens. So I had intended on doing a lot more mining, but we got 4 stacks of cobbled deslate and 49 diamonds. So that was really our only objective. So rather than spend more time collecting deep slate, which I don't really think we're gonna put. The only thing that may involve deep slate is if we put a blacksmith in the town. But other than that, I can't see any other builds involving that dark of a block in the town right now, unless I decide to do like a, I guess it would kind of work for like a slate or shingled roof, but I don't think so. So we're actually just gonna go immediately convert these diamonds into a full set. I already dropped it in the chest. I dropped down to the mid-level and mined some lapis to be exposed and didn't mine before because I knew we were going to get fortune and I didn't want to waste it. So I want to go back to enchant our tools, and then I guess we'll start putting together materials and build at least 2 villager houses. Typically I like to have an objective for a building, but I think for a woodcutter village, I think we'll just need some more generic houses. So my goal is by episode 10 that we start moving into the next village. I don't know if I love how shiny this shader pack makes the armors, but you know, it's also this. I keep forgetting to break this stupid torch right in the middle of the room. Every time I do a replay mod footage, I'm like, why is that torch there? I put it there to dig out the room and I just never picked it up. We've got our tools, we've got our armor, 2 stacks of lapis. Hopefully that's enough. We're not going to get perfect enchants on all the tools right now, but we can at least get good enough and get ourselves really set up to collect more materials, which means in the next few episodes we can do a lot more building because we'll have a lot less time spent grinding resources. So I'm gonna head back over to the spawner and start enchanting this stuff up. Alright, let's see how we did. So we got Aqua Affinity, which was like the most important one for me because when you're mining like sand and clay and just underneath the water, it's pretty nice to have that. Also, Respiration is huge. If you ever want to build something underwater, we'll want that. Protection 4, I like to have like protection and fire protection kind of spread out. Typically, I would actually like to have like blast protection, fire protection, and a protection to just kind of cover all my bases so I'm not getting one shot by a creeper or something like that. But, you know, we can't go for perfect right now, so unbreaking protection, unbreaking fire protection. We got Depth Strider on the boots, so we'll be able to swim fast too as well. Again, following the theme, I kind of want to build something in that bay at some point. I have an idea cooking I'm not quite ready to disclose. And only protection 3. We do have some lapis left, but I don't think there's really... it's worth our time to perfect all the enchants right now. We got the power 4 unbreaking 3 bow. We got a silk touch pickaxe with no efficiency on it, but we'll probably only use that to grab specific blocks that we want to silk touch. Sharpness 4 and looting. I like sweeping edge and unbreaking there, but we got looting, which is the important one, so we can, gather resources. Fortune, we already saw that. Efficiency 5, or efficiency 4 and unbreaking, efficiency 4 and unbreaking. Shovel and pickaxe, that's fine. I actually hate fortune on a shovel because you get all of that flint from gravel. And of course, our bow on the first try, unbreaking 3, efficiency 4, fortune 3. So that is going to be huge getting these spruce trees planted along the perimeter of our town. We're going to get a lot more saplings and that's going to go much faster. Yeah, there it is. We went through about, I'd say maybe a stack and a half of lapis, which isn't too bad. And I didn't time it, but I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 day-night cycles to get all that stuff enchanted. That's pretty good. And I mean, you already saw how easy it was to get all the diamonds, so that was maybe one of the fastest I've ever got kind of geared up. Again, I probably won't wear this armor most of the time because I like to show off my skin, but whenever we are going to do something a little dangerous, or we're going to do something in the water, we'll have this on hand. We did alright on like gunpowder and bones. I've been kind of storing them over here in this chest so that we can bring back a haul to our base. We also got some music discs just from skeletons trying to shoot at me a couple times. We'll grab those. We made a bow, like I said. I'm a unbreaking power mending guy. I understand why infinity exists, but when you have a farm like this, it's not that hard to just throw a stack of arrows in your inventory. And 64 arrows last you a long time unless you're actively fighting something. And 1 arrow or 64 arrows doesn't take up any more inventory slots, so you might as well have more enchants on your bow, in my opinion. Here we go. Gunpowder, bones, we got a random iron ingot. I think the zombies can technically drop them. No, the most important thing is gunpowder and bones back to base, and then spider eyes and string. If we ever get to villagers, we're gonna want spider eyes for potions. We don't have any carrots at the base yet, and then we don't need chicken really at the base, so I guess we'll grab the iron ingot and the potatoes. I meant to leave books here. I totally forgot. Usually I keep a stack of books in this chest as well so that I can throw a book in and kind of check the enchant. So you like throw the book in, oh, it's fortune 3. You throw fortune 3 on the book if you don't actually need it at that moment, and then you just keep the book instead of, putting an enchant on a piece of armor and then just using the grindstone to take it immediately off. But yeah, we're all enchanted up. Let's head back to the town and build a few buildings. And then I think we're going to go down the river. You might actually build this. Well, you could see it from here if it wasn't raining. This village here is right on the water, so we can actually just get a villager in a boat and just take him right down the bay and over towards the village. So that'll be nice. Let's sleep, so it's a safe journey back, and we'll head back to town and start building some houses. Alright, definitely still need some work. I got a little lazy towards the end. A couple of these trees on the end are still the annoying little tuft at the top. We'll clean those up, but I think you're starting to get the image. We might need one more row behind that to really sell that as like a dense forest, but yeah, pretty good from this angle. It's gonna require a lot more work when we finally move over to the mining village in the mountain, because they'll have a different angle and they'll be able to see that this is just, 4 rows of big trees. But I'm pretty happy with it, so now we can move on to building some houses. I just really wanted to get some more work on that. We might do like a little bit of work on that tree line every episode. It's a little tedious and it's a little boring, but I think it's going to really sell the woodcutting village aesthetic. It's actually going to be better to get our villagers before we start building their houses, because we can just get 2 villagers here and breed them up a couple times. So I'm going to go plant some carrots and then build a little temporary structure to breed them inside of. We'll actually grab some cobblestone, just build a nice big box for them to live in. So yeah, we're gonna plant some carrots, get some food ready, and then we'll bring them back here from the village. And then as soon as their houses are done, we can move them right in. That's weird, Bob. I have some of your other leashes. Yeah, you must have dropped them the last time you were here, because I just like found some leashes on the ground. I don't know if I caught this. I think I may have forgot to record this, but I actually planted trees. I didn't do any like work on the path. I just threw down a bunch of saplings on either side of the pathway, just to kind of give this a little bit more of a distinct feel when you're walking down the path towards the mine. I think it helps give it a nice little enclosed feel, which was what I was shooting for. We still gotta spread the grass out there a little bit more and fix up that beach some, but honestly, just putting these trees here, you kind of don't even really notice the totally messed up generation over there. All right, let's go plant these carrots. Then we're gonna hop in the boat and grab a villager and do that 2 times. Oh crap, we need a job block too. So we need a job block. I'm gonna plant these carrots. I got a bunch of bone meal so I can grow them up real quick. And then, yeah, let's go get some villagers. Alright, so we're here in the village. I'm a little concerned by the lack of activity that I'm seeing. I mean, it's not the end of the world because we do have that other village across the plains, but that is going to be significantly more difficult to transfer villagers from. I was really hoping we could grab 2 villagers from this town, but oh, there's more village up here. Okay, maybe we're not totally out of luck yet. I don't remember spending a lot of time close enough to this village for stuff to be damaged. I hear someone working the fields up here, I think. Oh, no, it's just this cat. I only have cooked fish. I don't think cats like cooked fish, do they? No, it doesn't look like they like cooked fish. Oh good, there's villagers up here. Okay, that's not too bad then. There we go. First villager's here. We're gonna put a row of beds in here and throw him some food, but first gotta get his buddy. Their beautiful home. Just kidding. We will build much nicer homes for you. But for now, you know, don't let the darkness bite. Just kidding, I gave him 2 torches. He's fine. He's gonna be totally fine. We'll be right back. It's not even that long. Okay. Well, this is gonna seem a little inhumane, but I mean, that's really just because of the way you're looking at it. We're gonna give them all beds, and we're gonna start producing a few villagers to live in our town. I could truck more over from the village, but I think if we just kind of stay on top of breeding these guys while we're building the houses, that'll probably be good enough. We didn't get as much wool as I thought we were gonna get. Let's go shear some more sheep. I think we're just gonna make, I don't know, gonna have Greg 2 houses and then maybe 2 more to spare. So we need like 5 villagers to get started. Again, we're gonna make Greg our mending villager, I believe, and then I guess Fletcher kind of makes sense. There's not really a woodcutter villager, but if we make them Fletchers, we can trade sticks with them, which kind of makes sense coming out of a woodcutter village. So I'm not really sure why it's not working. There's available beds. They've had food. They even have like the love symbol. Is there a chance that the baby can spawn outside of the walls? I don't see anything. Is it a space issue? Do you guys need more headroom? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, jeez. I guess we'll cycle this guy's trades and just give him a second. We'll wait till night and see if they claim a bed. I do think they need to claim a bed. I don't think they need to sleep in one, so I don't see why they wouldn't have claimed. Hey, you're getting a little close there, my guy. Yeah, I would have thought they would still claim a bed in here, but they might have to actually sleep first. I don't remember there being a space requirement. There needs to be an available bed for them and then also the baby, but again, there are plenty of beds in here. Well, that took way longer than it should have, and I still am not necessarily sure what made it work, but we did create another villager, so that's a good start. I've also broken this lectern quite a few times in the process, and we have not gotten very lucky. We don't necessarily need him to have mending right now, but I've actually been breaking down my spruce logs and just selling them to the Fletcher, and we've almost got a stack of emeralds just kind of trying to get these guys to make more villagers. It's a bit of a brutal start to this portion of the episode, but that's okay because we were successful. I don't know if it was raising the ceiling, or I think it may have actually been fully blocking off this doorway. I think because the trapdoors were there and they thought they could pass through but wouldn't actually fit, it must have been somehow breaking their AI so they wouldn't count these beds. So anyway, successful villager now. We used all of our carrots too on like a million broken breeding attempts. So we're gonna go plant some more carrots, farm them up, and then maybe we'll start building those 2 buildings. Man. Well, we did get mending, and I'm probably gonna regret it, but I really would like to be sub 20 emeralds. I mean, in the long run, you don't need to buy that many mending books, so it's not a big deal, but for this early game portion, it's going to save us a lot of grinding if we can get mending on a few of our tools. So I think we're going to push through and try to get a slightly cheaper version. I hope I don't regret this. Minecraft really sticking it to me with a 2 emerald more expensive enchanting. We're too deep now. We've got to push through. Oh, it finally happened. I literally had to lock it in immediately because I was afraid it was going to disappear. 10 emeralds for 1 mending. It's a great deal. I'm going to go grab some more sticks and some more books and knock those out, just in case this guy ends up dying to something stupid. I don't want to lose this opportunity. Knowing my luck, some baby zombie is going to run in there while I'm building these houses, murder him, and I'll never even get to use the trade that I just spent half my life trying to get. Okay, now that whole ordeal is completed. I started laying out some positioning for these buildings. So I want to keep sightlines in mind, and I want the tavern to have a view of the bay. So I don't want to put any buildings directly in front of the tavern. And I want to put buildings close-ish to that sightline, if that makes sense. So that when you're looking out, you know, the edges of your vision are filled, the foreground effectively, if you were taking a picture. So I think putting a building here fills it up nicely. And then in an effort to kind of fill up our path, I'll put another one to the left side of the path here going towards the forest. We may put like some kind of pavilion or gazebo here between these 2 buildings, but I don't want it to be a dense town. So even honestly, this proximity is probably pretty close to the tavern, but I also want it to feel like a tight, you know, cohesive village. You spread it out too much and you can't see their buildings, it doesn't really work. So that's my thinking. So we'll build these 2 buildings first. I'm going to go for still the kind of wooded rustic theme. I may try to do like a log cabin design on one of these. I've never done that before, but it seems like it would be obvious, no? I don't know. It may or may not work, so you may see me build it twice, because if I hate how it looks when it turns out, I'll just tear it down and build it again. They're pretty small buildings, and they're literally just going to be beds, you know, some very light interior, just a place for our villagers to live, you know, between days when they're working hard in the forest cutting down trees. I collected a bunch of spruce wood when we were cutting down the forest, and we already had a bunch of oak, so we're really kind of already set up to do this. I don't know what I want to do for the roof material on these buildings. That is kind of an open question. I don't love using cobblestone, so we may try to do some kind of like stone slate roof on these buildings. That's undecided. I'm gonna have to let inspiration hit me, but for now I want to build the frame up on these things and get the shape down. They're going to be simple buildings, like I said. They're so small, it's going to be difficult to texture in too much detail, but that's my only concern with doing like logs, like literal logs, is that it'll be more difficult to put in different textures. So we'll have to do a lot more with trapdoors and fences and stuff, but let's see what we can make happen. Oh, also, I don't love this double step down in elevation, so I think we're going to actually fill in... We're definitely going to fill in this hole with dirt, but I think we're actually going to bring this little landing up so that it's only a 1 step down. I don't hate that it's a change in elevation, but 2 blocks seems a little extreme down off the road. So yeah, let's get to work. Okay, well I think this is another situation of me overestimating how much I could get done. If this thing's gonna get out Monday, we gotta call it at some point, and I think this is where we're gonna call it. As I built this thing, by the way, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I don't know if I really nailed the log cabin aesthetic. I mean, you can see here with the logs that pass each other. From different angles you can tell. It's not really big enough, especially once I put the roof ridge on there, it really covered up that top log, which I think sold the actual log look a little better, but it didn't necessarily look as good. And again, I don't want these buildings to be very big because they're just, you know, woodworkers in the forest, and this is just a place for them to sleep and cook dinner. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. We've got ourselves a little firewood pile here. Detailing is probably my biggest weakness. A lot of times I throw a lot of stuff at the wall and see what sticks. You see I got some buttons here. I think these buttons here are probably useless. I do like the buttons on the end of these because it breaks up the really white texture on the end of the oak logs. I ended up stripping the spruce because the dark spruce on the lighter oak wood was just too much. I did end up going with a slate roof, like I had talked about, I think, at some point in this episode. So I'm pretty happy with the contrast there. The chimney needs some work. I need to mix in some either tile brick or something. I don't know, something that is similar but different enough. This looks a little bit too much like the roof was shaped into a chimney, which I mean I guess is a look. But I love the outline and the placement. I'm pretty happy with this step down. I think it helps kind of nestle this build into a little nook here, which is cool. I did go ahead and move the villagers in, so we've got our Fletcher in here. We've got easy stick trades right there, which, you know, as we continue to chop down this spruce forest and build up this tree line, that's going to be really handy because we're going to end up with way more spruce than we know what to do with. And we can turn it into sticks and get emeralds, even though, you know, we've already gotten, what, 6 or 7 mending books, I think, from our tavern keeper, Greg, which we should probably go say hi to. I might patent this, by the way. Just kidding. Someone has definitely thought of this before, but it turns out you can just use rugs to keep villagers in certain places. So I made this like a pass-through style bar entrance, and just this rug and this slab being 2 blocks up is enough to keep Greg right in his little happy home. Again, as I alluded to earlier, I don't think that a librarian is the most aesthetically accurate for a bartender. So we may end up changing Greg's appearance at some point, but for now, there's our mending book, 10 emeralds. Pretty good. We can now come into Greg's, say hi, you know, talk about how our day went, maybe order a pint of Greg's famous brew. I feel like I alluded to what his drink was called in a previous episode, and I cannot remember. If you remember, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, it's pretty good. This tavern definitely needs some interior design. I haven't really come back. I did throw the windows in real quick. So look at that. That sand we mined in episode 1. Or maybe it was episode 2. Oh, I missed one. Well, close enough. Yeah, there's no windows upstairs either, so don't look at that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna throw one of the target blocks here, so it's like a dartboard on the wall. We need some more light. Obviously, it's very dark in here. Not very dark, but it needs a lamp somewhere to light up this region. So yeah, that's where we are right now. Pretty happy with how the path and the outside area is coming together too. I've started just throwing down some more oak trees here and there on the sides of the path to help load it in. I want to put more of this fencing along the edges of the path as well. I just feel like the fencing really helps frame it, and it gives the path that like 3rd dimension. Whereas if you just have like a significant amount of path blocks, so yeah, it's like right here, it starts to feel like the path is really flat to the ground. But by adding these fence posts along the edges of the path, it just helps kind of solidify it and raise it up into your perspective, if that makes sense. We obviously also want to mix in some coarse dirt and maybe some gravel or planks. I haven't decided exactly what palette I want to use for the pathway through here yet. So in contrast to this build, the second build, which we are not going to get completed this episode, but what's that? Oh, I can see through my torches. In contrast to this, I think we're going to go with a lighter log cabin, so we actually need birchwood, which apparently I never cut down a birch tree. Actually, let me go check. Yeah, look at that. We have some birch saplings. Okay, so we'll use these birch saplings. We'll grow up some birch wood and we'll use birch logs. And I think we'll do a similar style to this. So we'll do oak logs stripped with birch logs. Oh, the birch logs are going to be white though, actually. I'm going to have to think about that more. I'm going to have to strip the birch logs as well because they have that annoying bark texture. But anyway, I want to do a lighter cabin just to add a little bit more variety to the town. We went oak here as our like predominant trim color. We've got spruce here with slate, so it's very dark. And then we'll do a lighter build there. And then we'll start mixing in just some other smaller cabins throughout here and yeah, fill out the tavern a little bit. We actually produced quite a few villagers. I must have thrown those 2 villagers down here a little extra food. If you notice, I threw up a couple oak trees to block this hideous monstrosity I've got going on down here for the villagers. Yeah, I walked in here to grab some stuff and I was like, oh crap, they had like 4 more villagers they had created. I should probably throw some more food in these guys to make more beds, but honestly, I'm probably going to build that cabin, a general store. So here's my outline for the rest of the town, I guess. Or at least what's in my brain so far. There's going to be the second cabin, which is going to be the lighter wood. There's going to be a general store, which I have not decided placement-wise. I'm thinking actually kind of kitty corner to the tavern here. Again, we're going to push this beach back some, so we'll probably raise this hill up and the general store will go here somewhere. And then I don't know what building I want to put across the street up here, but I think I need one more build. I don't know if a blacksmith makes sense in a woodcutting town like this. I mean, I guess they're going to need to sharpen their axes, so maybe we do like some kind of grindstone heavy axe sharpening store here. We'll probably take this tree out, kind of raise this hill up a little bit, just so there's enough room tucked back here, and we're not perfectly in line with the tavern. So this will probably be some kind of axe sharpening blacksmith. Up here, kitty corner, when we push, again, we're going to carve this beech and we're going to level it up probably 2 tiers down like this. There'll be a nice big general store here, which will just be like, you know, food and your typical supplies that you would need in a small town. And then, yeah, a couple more houses, and that's kind of my vision. My goal is to get all of this completed before episode 10, and that's, you know, at least, I'm not going to say all of the detailing complete, because I just feel like you can never be done. Like, look at this. Every time you look at a build, you just kind of see different stuff where, like, see how flat this is at the top of this little lean-to that I made? I made the lean-to because this wall in general was kind of boring, but you still end up with this flat area where I couldn't quite figure out, because you couldn't do 2 logs here, and it would have made the interior look a little bit weird on this building. So yeah, we'll get some detailing done on all the buildings, and then I want to move on to a new location, just because we don't want to stick around in the same area for too long. It'll start to get boring. The next village, I think I have decided, will be the mining village, which we're going to go a little heavier in the stone probably, kind of move away from our wood blocks a little bit. And we may return here someday. We still have to build Corentus's water feature and his staircase down to the mines and this cool little bowl feature that we have behind the tavern. And there's some other stuff. I want to build something in this bay, and I've also mentioned a few times we want to build the docks, so we'll get those done too eventually. But I think that will be at a later date. Maybe we'll do, you know, 10 episodes or so over in the iron area, and then maybe we'll come back and start fresh in this area. Just a thought, man, these iron golems, they're really spawning like crazy over here. I thought these only spawned when the villagers were scared, and I haven't seen any villagers be intimidated, but maybe if there's just zombies near their little enclosure, it spawns them. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 iron golems. We're gonna have to deal with that at some point. I was trying something out with these. Instead of using trapdoors as shutters, I thought maybe these would look interesting. The texture's kind of cool, and just, you know, at a brief glance, if you're moving, it kind of works, but I don't think it's perfect. And then I didn't want to do planters because I just don't see rough and tumble woodcutters doing planters beside their windows. So I tried this like alternating staircase feature so that you'd end up with a bit of a windowsill here and then just, you know, texture to fill in the rest of the area. A little bush here. I don't know what to do with this flat spot on the build, but another lean-to seemed silly. We may do like, maybe I should do like an outhouse. That'd be kind of funny. I wonder if I can pull off an outhouse in Minecraft. I don't know. We have to figure out something for this face, or just plant the tree really grows, which is what I kind of tried to do, is plant a couple trees to box it in. I grew the grass up a little bit, put a little rudimentary path to connect to the road. So yeah, that's all we've got time for this episode. You made it this far. I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. Whew, Greg, I am tired. That was a lot of work today. I'll have a Greg's brew, please. No, I have not finished your room downstairs. Don't worry, it's on my list. It's on my list. Yes, there is a fiery portal to the underworld dimension sitting where I said your room was gonna go. I know that wasn't part of the deal, but I had to put it somewhere, so that's where it is for now. You know, I'm glad you're here, Greg. It's good to have someone to talk to. Don't forget to go on adventures. I was getting myself ready to work on this next build. I need to farm up some birch logs, bone meal them, I need to collect some stone, melt it down in the furnace, but I'm just not really motivated to do that right now. And so instead, I think we'll go on an adventure. Because you have to remember that Minecraft is an infinite world of randomly generated interesting things. And yeah, it's awesome to build up a really cool base, a really cool village, and pour your love and heart into it and craft it to the exact thing you want. But there's also a world out there to explore. Sometimes you just need to do that. And I was thinking, while I was getting myself ready here, I was thinking about the spruce logs and the adventure we had to go on to get our spruce saplings. Because we didn't have any spruce wood somehow in the immediate area. So we had to go across the ocean, we climbed a mountain, we trekked through a beautiful cherry biome, and finally on the top and the back side of a mountain, we found just a few spruce trees. And while we were up there, I met a nice little wolf, and I thought, someday I'm gonna come back here and I'm gonna bring you home, or at least to Greg's basement. So I think we're gonna do that now. And if we're gonna go on an adventure, we should probably bring our fishing pole. And if we're gonna bring our fishing pole, we should probably bring a good one. I think between these 4 is the perfect fishing pole. I think that's aptly named. Now that we've got our adventure stick, we can go on an adventure. I don't know how long this adventure is going to take, We should probably bring a bed. All right, Greg, hold down the fort. And make sure you're stocked up on Greg's brew, because I have a feeling we're going to be thirsty after this one. We've got bones for our wolf pup, a bed to rest, and most importantly, we've got our adventure stick. Maybe one cast from the shore just for good luck. Ah, a raw cod. Exactly what this adventure needed. Our trusty chest boat has been with us for a long time. All the way back from the beaches of the dark forest. Alright, and now we go. Our fishing chair from the rainy episode. Adventures have the benefit of letting you take a step back and seeing everything from a different perspective. That's what I'm hoping to do here. Sometimes getting out into the world and exploring can really motivate you and inspire you in a lot of ways. It's hard when you're up close to something and you're focusing so hard and trying to get it complete, but it's amazing what stepping away and just totally disconnecting from it can do for you. You'll be surprised how often inspiration will strike when you're no longer trying to complete the task and you're just existing or going through the motions. I think we'll rest in Greg's home village tonight. We actually saved that stray cat up there one day, drowning in the ocean. We get him up out of the waterfall, up onto the cliffs, and he wouldn't even say hi to us. He just ran away from us. It's pretty rude after we saved his life. An early sunrise, a beautiful view. Let's see if we can find a nice little cove here. Take our first little pit stop. I think there's something interesting here. Some kind of water inlet or cave entrance here. Let's check it out. I mean, this almost looks man-made, the way the sandstone supports the sand. A little ominous in a way, and honestly, I hope that magma doesn't suck us down to the bottom, but pretty neat little generation here. If we're gonna go on an adventure, I don't think we can say no to something like this. Short and quick dead end. That's the beauty of an adventure. You just never know what you're gonna find. The mysterious cave may not have brought us anything, but maybe the shallow waters on the shoreline will. You know, the problem is probably my cast. You just can't cast very well seated in a boat. I think if we stand, we'll have a little better luck. Look at that, a bee. You know, bees are a good way to bring life to your village. I think we should probably try to grow some trees. I think it's if you grow trees near flowers, you can get bees. Ah, look at that. Just had to stand up, catch something interesting. And we even found a little inspiration already. I think we'll try to get some bees in our town. We're approaching the base of White Wolf Mountain, the only natural occurring area of spruce wood in the discovered world. Let's not forget where our boat was parked this time. Well, we did catch a saddle. We could check out these horses, but I think it may be a little more difficult than it's worth trying to get these guys back to the base, so maybe we'll try to tame a horse a little closer to home. Man, this is a pretty cool area. I think we're gonna have to keep this in mind for the future. I don't know exactly what we would build here, but the way that this meadow kind of rolls into this hill could be something interesting. It's always a push and pull for me in a Minecraft world. It's like you want the flat plains so that you have a blank canvas to paint on, right? But inevitably what that means is that you end up with a flat village or a flat kingdom. And if you try to build in an area like this that is hilly and gorges and there's stone and there's outcroppings, you end up running out of space for everything all the time. But I think if you can force a build into an area like this, it does give it just so much more character. That's why I always wondered when I see people building on flat worlds. I understand if you're like testing a theory, but personally, even if I'm gonna build something in creative, I like to go into an actual generated world and find a build location. It's a little bit more work. I kind of need the environment to be inspired on what the build is. I feel like a build without the environment around it is just kind of, lifeless and soulless. It may be extreme, but that's kind of my sentiment on the creative building. Here's the cherry biome. We overshot slightly, but we got a new vantage point. We actually did grab some of these saplings and seeds when we were here last time. We don't really need to grab any more. Snowy peaks. I think we're getting close. Some more bees. See, here's another just interesting spot. This is the kind of stuff where it's like you spend too much time in one area and you forget the kind of things that can just naturally generate. It's almost like the water is melting off this frozen glacier, comes down and it's been digging its way into the side of this mountain. And then you end up with like these cherry trees all generating around it. And then, you have a nice little natural bee's nest here with some life. I mean, this bee's a little derp, but you get the point. There's rabbits I saw jumping over there. There's just a lot of cool stuff in the world, and you just gotta get out there and see it. I mean, look at this ravine with the mountains across the way. I feel like recent Minecraft patches have gotten a lot of flack, but I really just feel like, oh, look at that. Signs of a past adventure. Anyway, as I was saying, I feel like it's hard to argue that the Minecraft world just isn't more beautiful than it's ever been. And more interesting too. Alright, let's see if our friend hung out and waited for us to return back. I believe it was this ledge right up here that we rested on during our last adventure. Look at that, it hasn't even got snow on it since we were here. Alright, see if we can find our buddy. Got the bones out, he's got to smell me. Can't have gone far. It is pretty treacherous up here though. Hopefully he didn't meet an untimely demise on these cliff edges somewhere. I'll be honest, kinda need coal. As much as I'd love to preserve the beauty of this mountain, we do have things we need to get done. And just because we're on an adventure doesn't mean we can't get stuff. Oh, it's funny, there's snow on the edges of this mountain, but the top is just bare stone. Kind of interesting. That is not a wolf. Oh, that is. Hey, buddy. Kind of dangerous, the company you're keeping up here on top of the mountain. Just say we come back to a nice cozy home and get you a real bed with a collar, maybe? Greg's always giving away scraps, so I think you're gonna like it. Best friend forever. We don't have a name for you yet, but I'm thinking that somebody might let us know down below. And if they don't, we'll think of something good. But for now, we've got to make it home. I think we'll go rest first, though. You wanna come? All right, it's a beautiful morning, and I've got a log cabin to build. Let's go see what Greg's up to. Well, Greg, I think I'm finally ready for one of those brews. Yes, a famous Greg's. Thank you. That adventure, you know, it really reinvigorated me. I'm pretty excited to get going now. Oh, no. No, not. I'm not ready to start working on your room, specifically. Oh, you wanted it. I mean, it's not like we've got tenants lined up out the door. There's 2 rooms upstairs. Yeah, I realize that those rooms are also not finished and don't have windows, but... Hey, I brought you company. He's mostly house trained. I mean, he was literally a wild animal, I don't know, 12 hours ago. Look how cute he is. I think he's gonna grow on you, Greg. You'll see. Well, this was unexpected. This episode was supposed to just be one adventure, but look what we just stumbled upon when we were trying to get some stone for our roof on the new cabin. Well, we're not going to need too many Eyes of Ender for this world. I guess we'll have to look and find the portal now that we're here. I don't think we're ready to go in there and fight anything yet, although honestly, our gear's not bad, and we've got a power 4 bow. I can throw bending or infinity or something on it. I don't know. I guess maybe we'll... I'm not sure. It wasn't my intention to fight the dragon yet. I thought maybe I'd shoot for it around episode 10, but honestly, I was kind of in the groove building and doing what we were doing, and it wasn't really on my radar. This is kind of my strategy when I'm exploring buildings like this. So if I hit like a definite dead end, I'll backtrack until the nearest branch, block it off, and put a torch over it, because you'll end up going down the same hallways like 100 times when you're trying to explore these things if you don't have some kind of method of checking off areas. Oh, and there it is. Beautiful. Can these things spawn when there's a torch on it? I'm not sure. Oof. Well, we didn't get lucky there, but we didn't have to use any eyes to find the place. Oh, they can. So anyway, as I was saying before I was really interrupted, we didn't have to use any eyes to find this place, so I guess it could be worse. But yeah, we didn't get a single one pre-filled. Kind of a bummer. Now I'm just getting a million ideas. Like, I think we're gonna have to excavate down to this thing. I think we dig up and see where this is, because we are not far from the village. It's actually a really cool cave. I like the caves that spawn with these like vertical pillar support systems. Just makes them so much more believable to have this wide open of an area. Leave a little window open here so we don't forget this is here too. Alright, see where we are. Oh wow, we're super close. I mean, that makes sense. The mine entrance is on the backside of this knoll right here. Well, we're not gonna have to go very far anytime we want to go to the end. Usually I make like a nether tunnel that, you know, you have to go like 1,000 blocks or something. Huh, interesting. I don't know. We have some big decisions to make now. Probably not next episode. I think episode 10. I think at this point we kind of have to. Episode 10. I think we're gonna fight the dragon. We still need to find a warped forest biome in the nether so we can get a bunch of endermen, and because we're gonna need all, is it 12 ender eyes? Whatever it takes to fill the entire circle. but it's going to be way more feasible now, and it's literally next door to our base. Okay, now we just have to move on with our day and pretend like that didn't happen, because we've got to at least get one cabin built this episode, so let's get back to work. Back down into the mines. Honestly, we probably have enough stone now. Not back into the mines. We gotta go cut some trees. And there it is, cabin number 2. I'm pretty happy with the final result. I was going to go with like a flat roof here across the porch, and I was worried that it would look like too much of a step change from the roof. But now, at least from the side profile, I don't love how chunky this is. The flat roof would have separated the two peaks, so that might get modified. And I've got a few other modifications that I thought I would do while you're watching. Well, you know, hopefully you were watching during the time lapse too, but I put these oak buttons on. Not dissimilar to how I used over here. I believe these were spruce buttons. I thought, oh, go one shade lighter, but even the oak buttons, they stand out a little bit too much for me on the birch. So I want to see what these look like, without chopping down the actual building. I want to see what these look like with birch buttons and see if they're a little less dramatic. Now, the concern here is it going to be dramatic? No, it's not too bad on the oak. Of course, that is in the shade, but yeah, that looks much better. Okay, we're gonna swap these buttons out for birch buttons for sure then. I like how that looks a lot better. The ones on the end, I was mostly using to break up the texture, which, you know, the birch button on the birch log doesn't do much, so I could probably get rid of those. And these ones, I was kind of picturing it as like, oh, it's like you're driving a stake or a nail in to link the two logs together. At least that's what it was doing, you know, in my brain. I don't even think that's technically how they do it. I think they actually drive the nails down through the logs, but this is Minecraft. We can make up our own building and physics mechanics. And this is how I want it to work. We have a window on the back overlooking the gorge, so they'll have a great view if we ever get around to that build. I had to extend this dirt out a little bit here. I extended the elevation out here as well. And this road is going to go into the forest for, you know, people that are cutting down trees and the workers. And then this is also where our path is going to curve and head towards the mountain. I thought about branching it off from the mine, but if I took the road from the mine path, it would sweep all the way across the valley and then loop back, and I thought this could make it a more direct route. I'm also considering making this like more of like a road, but I can't figure out in my head how I want it to go, because if it was a trade route or something, that's probably going to see less travel than, you know, the paths in the town, but you would also go through more effort to make it a better path. So undecided there. But we don't have to worry about that too soon. We'll make some rudimentary path for now, but that'll be a pretty huge project, making the actual legitimate road from here to the colony. So what else was I going to do this build? There were some other things I wanted to touch up. Oh, I was thinking maybe if I ease this curve out some, if we change the roof to a flat roof, it's not going to matter, but this could help the interior space here, so this isn't as big of an area. I like how that looks. That can work. And then the one last thing that I wanted to change out here is, I thought for some reason, and maybe it is working, I wanted to use the hay bale trick to make the smoke thicker, but I just don't like how that double trapdoor looks. I need to find a better way to hide hay bales or something. I'm sure that if I looked up chimney tutorial for Minecraft on the internet, I'd find something, but for now, we're just gonna knock this bottom layer off. Maybe if I use like different color trapdoors or something. Oh crap, I was supposed to bring forgot to bring stone with me. Maybe I have some down in this chest. This is our little building supplies chest, so yeah, perfect. Well, we'll just revert this chimney to similar to the other one for now. Maybe I'll do some research and see if I can find a better way to hide these hay bales so that you can get cool chimneys. I mean, the real answer is probably to make it a much larger chimney, but I'm not sure for a cabin of this size if we could pull that off. There we go, that looks much nicer. Okay, We replaced our buttons. We got a little lamp here. It's got a light interior. I wouldn't say it's anything special, but you've got a bed. You got a little breakfast nook. I guess this is just like working counter. I figured you've got your chest storages up here and down here. And again, pretty decent view. This will be a cool view once we get that village built up over there. I took a peek over there earlier, and we're gonna have a pretty major terraforming project when we finally make the transition. We also need to figure out some kind of like lamppost solution for the town. I don't know what that's gonna look like yet, but I prefer to have a way to like have lighting along the path that isn't like sneaking torches behind trees and stuff. I mean, this works, but you catch the wrong torch, the wrong angle on something, and it kind of breaks your immersion. I really like to design my pathways, especially like when you're in a village or in a town, so that you feel like engulfed by the trees and the bushes and the buildings. So when you're walking down this, your brain doesn't even realize that, you know, there's only 3 builds here, right? But when you're walking down this pathway, you get the nice open view of the bay. You've got buildings on either side, and even when you head out here towards the mine, I try to make the trees a little denser, and you know, you have a nice field over here. Don't mind the aging copper. But I don't know, it just feels cohesive to me, if that makes sense. And that's kind of what I shoot for, especially on pathways and places that people are going to be walking. Obviously, as soon as you step to the other side of the trees on either side, it kind of breaks everything. But at least if you want to stick to the pathways, you know, you get a cool little perspective of the town. Especially looks nice walking from this direction, where you round this corner and you've got a view of the new cabin. You've got Greg's Tavern to your left. You got the bay on your right. Again, I want to do some kind of dock build down here, but I just can't think of what I want that to look like, so I've just been putting it off, if I'm being honest. Yeah, and then you're around the corner to our new cabin. We'll plant a couple more trees here, because you can tell immediately, all through there it feels mostly balanced, but as soon as you get to this last cabin, this opens up way too much right here, and you kind of break it. So if we plant 1 or 2 trees through here somewhere, or maybe this will be our chance to do a custom tree. I don't want to make that promise yet, because I'm just not very good at organics, but maybe it's something I could practice. Yeah, so we'll fix the dirt here to make a better path into the forest. I don't know that we'll actually build anything in the forest for now, but that could be a cool build later on. Maybe some kind of like goblin knoll in the forest or something like that. I don't know, we'll workshop it. But yeah. Oh, there's one other thing I wanted to do before I forget. Another recommendation from Cruentus, I think it was, again. He mentioned to break up this flat surface, putting a vent here, and I wanted to look. So we're up above this beam, so you wouldn't even really see it from the inside. We might have to go inside to place this, actually. I'm trying to think in my brain. No, if we place it this... No, it still doesn't work. Yeah, we're gonna have to go inside to place this. It's either that or I'm really bad at Minecraft, but I'm pretty sure we can't get the trapdoor to face the right way. Let me go in here real quick. Oh, yeah, I AFK'd on accident, and this door's gone, and things don't sound great in here. The good news is we're gonna have an easy curing villager. The bad news is this is gonna be a little bit difficult. We might just have to take some damage. I don't think I have thorns on anything, so we should be alright to just... Okay, there we go. Alright, so now we put our trapdoor on this face, and then flip it down. Perfect, okay. Sorry, dude. Oh, yep, okay, we don't want to hit you on accident. I won't bother replacing your door because, honestly, you're probably stronger than most of the things that could sneak their way into here, so... Hey, watch it. Alright, how's this look? Yeah, I like that. Especially with the slab, it covers up most of it. It's just kind of a neat little detail. And roof vents is functionally a thing that happens in normal buildings, so that's cool. And then the other thing I wanted to do was throw a couple fences in here, some more, to kind of border the path. Oops. Yeah, we'll put this fence here and yeah, I don't want to shrink this path down at all. I like to keep it at least 3 wide. If we ever get to the point where we're riding horses around here, oops. If you ever get to the point that we're riding horses around here, we're gonna want a little bit of a wider path, so yeah, there it is. The path will get a little bit less dense through here too, because it's just, this is gonna be like the walking path into the forest, so you know, the main drag through the town is gonna get the most foot traffic, and then after that it gets, you know, a little bit less, a little bit less. This is decent width. I typically put the fence like this at like, you see how this is like a turning point kind of? Just because on straightaways you wouldn't really have a fence post. Like this is a pretty long one, so we might throw like that there. And then here at like a crossroad, it's a good way to like, oh, this is an intersection of some kind, right? So you make it a little obvious. Let's see how that feels. Yeah, that works. So this is like a nice intersection in the road. Boom, we'll head towards the mining colony, or you know, down towards the strip into town. This one might be a little blocky. We don't have any bone meal on us, but there's gonna be a tree right here, most likely. And then there will be a tree probably, I'm trying to think sightline wise. So you're gonna have the tree there, so there's gonna be a gap here. So they'll probably try to sneak a tree somewhere here. I want to be able to see the forest over here, but I want to see it while peeking through different obstacles on the main strip. That makes sense. Yeah, there it is. Our wood cutting village so far. We found a stronghold, we got a new dog, and we built a cabin. It's been a pretty busy episode. And if you made it this far in the episode, I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. Greg! Okay, Greg. This doesn't look good, but we can fix it. And you're not the only one in town that got, you know, afflicted. Earl's not looking good either. But I think we can get what you need, and we can get you right. Just gotta give me a little while. We'll get it done. Don't worry. Don't panic. Greg, don't panic. You're gonna stay here, because I don't think dogs in the nether mix well. Well, it's not what I thought we were doing at the beginning of today's episode, but we've got to save Greg, because he's looking a little green, and so is Earl over there. Both of them, mostly my fault. I may have AFK'd on accident at some point, and you remember that window I never put in the building? Yeah, I'm pretty sure a baby zombie jumped through that window and got Greg. I'm really sorry about that. He's gonna be so mad. He's gonna be so mad when he gets back from this. That's all right, we'll get him. So yeah, we had to go get blaze rods anyway for our end portal that we found. It's still my hope to fight the dragon next episode, and I think we can still make that happen. But first, we need to go to that fortress that we found and find some blazes. Oh, we should actually bring some gold. I always forget to put on my gold helmet. We've already got gold apples and extra apples too, so we just need to get the blaze rods so that we can get our alchemy stand. And then we got to get some spider eyes, which we already have some, but we actually did find a spider spawner in the stronghold area when we were exploring, so we actually might go make a spider farm real quick too. We should have everything we need. We just need the blaze rods so that we can make the actual alchemy stand, and then we're gonna need the blaze rods for the eyes of Ender anyway, so this will be a double whammy. All right, hopefully this goes better than our previous trips to the nether. It hasn't gone well for us. I don't know if I've shown this either, but I did actually move our portal up and link it. So we're now up at, I think we're up at Y105, and then that straight across is the portal to our mob farm. So that way when we're running back to get our tools and stuff, it's just a nice straight shot and it's really fast. I don't remember which pathway was our path. Of course, one thing I don't bring is the axe, and I put a wood log right in our way. What are the odds of that? Oh well. I don't remember which pathway was the direction of the fortress. Let's check this way first. Wait, why is he mad at me? Oh, I'm not wearing the helmet. That was dumb. Whoops. Should probably make those 5 ingots into an actual helmet and then try again. Okay, this guy should like me now. Let's see, this is the right way? This is the right way, okay. Mad? He's not mad. All right, I think if we had the staircase going up higher, this must have been, I'm not sure what this was. Oh, right here it is, perfect. I do know you could see it from our little 1 block path. This is also where the gas was shooting at us a bunch, so we gotta be careful there, but I made it out of netherrack too, of course, which I'm pretty sure gassed explosions destroy, and then we would plummet to our inevitable death. Let's hope that does not happen. Where was this thing? I remember being able to see it from this pathway, I thought. Oh, is that right there? Okay. All right, how do we get there? We already have a pathway down over here, so we'll climb down where we climb down for the soul sand and our bones, and then we'll just run across the nether because it's always kind of annoying to find. We should have brought more blocks. We could have built a staircase to get back up because we're gonna need easy access to this thing in the future. I mean, I guess if we're fighting the dragon, we'll have elytra. I don't really intend on using my elytra a significant amount at first, especially where the next village that we're building is kind of just down the road. I think that we'll be able to tame a horse is my hope, and then we'll just use that horse to get back and forth for now. I think that'll be enough. I've totally lost my, oh, kind of far down. I might have to be careful here. My armor's okay, but I don't have like feather falling or anything like that on it, so it'll be a little bit safe. All right, I don't think we're gonna bother to fight a bunch of wither skeletons while we're here, although I will say this is not gonna be a good fortress location for that. Actually, you know what? Does this go towards that sand biome? I think the soul sand is the biome you want. A terrible fortress. Blaze rods is our real goal. How many do we need? So we need, can't remember if it's a blaze powder. I think it's just a blaze powder and an eye of Ender. So we just need enough to make 12 eyes in a brewing stand, which, you know, if we find a spawner, that shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, we yeeted ourselves into the lava at one point because I accidentally came through when I broke the portals. When I was moving the portals up there to Y105, I came in here and didn't bring flint and steel with me, and I just jumped in the lava with my stuff in a pile because I forgot that you can get flint and steel in these. Typically I'll just do this and then I don't have to worry about going down there ever again because there would be no reason. Same thing with this, like this is a weird curly dead end. So I just go like this Now I know there's no reason to ever go down there. All right, our first wither skeleton. I am not very good at fighting these guys. Wither really, I mean, if you use the tried and true method of digging a tunnel and kind of fighting them underground, it's really not that bad of a fight. I don't think I'm brave enough to fight the wither in the overworld, so when we fight him, we'll either do the end method where you spawn him underneath the little portal that brings you home, or we'll do the underground tunnel, I think. Maybe in the future when we're a lot stronger and we have elytra and all that good stuff, but for now, we'll probably play it safe. Wow, that is ominous. Look at the way that the soul sand fog comes up through the floor. It almost looks like this hallway is haunted. It is a dead end though. We should probably grab nether wart while we're here too. Anything that can save us from future trips to the nether is good by me, so get as much collected as possible ahead of time and then you don't have to keep making trips back. Can't remember, is it spooky scary skeleton? Is that the achievement? Can we get a skull? We'll probably see it drop. Is there gonna be not a single blaze spawner in this entire place? I find that almost impossible. Oh, there we go, there's a blaze. That's a blaze spawner, right? Perfect. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. We messed up, we messed up. That's how fast the nether can get ahead of you. Before you know it, you're on fire and a wither skeleton is sneaking up on you from around the corner. I wish I didn't have knockback on my sword. Flying enemies and skeletons just makes it so much worse. I don't know how bright you need to make these now so they won't light up, but let's see if we can stop a little bit of spawns here so we can get this. Oh, that was dumb. Get this other. Oh, our bow's in our inventory. The fire on me is going out really fast. I'm not sure if I'm getting lucky on the ticks, or does fire protection actually reduce the amount of time that you're on fire? Can you survive wither with eating? I don't know. I actually don't know the stats on that. It looks like we're recovering faster than the wither's getting us. Okay, that got out of hand really fast. All right, how many is that? That's 5 blaze rods. How much powder does that convert into? 10. So we still need a few more rods. Get rid of these torches. Give ourselves the most spawn rate here. I'm getting nervous the longer we stay here. I just want to get it done. 5 more rods. I don't know how many ablaze. I think we'll do 1 more spawn cycle. We'll torch this thing up really good and get out of here before we push our luck too much. All right, we've got our blaze rods. We got some magma cream. We did not find any nether wart, but I don't think we need that for the potion. So we're just gonna get out of here before things get out of hand on us even more than they already did. All right, now we need to find our way back, get back there, and we need to save Greg and Earl. Our stick trader, I've decided his name is Earl. Okay, so we got very lost. I'm not sure how much of that I'll keep in this, but we got really lost in there. Luckily we didn't fall in the lava, and we fought off a couple pigs and made it through alive, but that didn't go well. And it didn't go well for way too long. Yeah, I know, Greg, I'm working on it. Technically we have everything we need right now, and we could cure Greg and Earl. But I think I actually do want to go knock out that spider farm. It's just gonna be a really useful thing to have, you know, sustainable string. Do I know right now what I would use a significant amount of string for? No, I don't. But I feel like it's something that we can knock out pretty easily and it'll just be done. And if we ever need string in our world or spider eyes for whatever reason, we'll have that. And it's right next to the stronghold, which as we know is not very far from our base because we mined into it. So we'll probably just carve out a little path too. So we'll be able to drop down this mine entrance over here. We'll be able to run, you know, a little bit down the mine shaft there, and then bam, you're right at a spider spawner. Maybe we'll make like a separate water elevator at some point, but I can't imagine that we'll go there very often, so it's not a priority right now, but I do want to get it built and just have that done. So let's go work on that right now, and then we'll cure Greg and Earl. I don't know what I'm going to use for design for this spider spawner, but it's almost definitely going to be whatever Shulkercraft most simple spider spawner farm is. So I'll try to link it in the description. I'm sure it's been done a million times by 100 different people, but you'll see when we get there. And there it is. Nothing special, but it's unlimited spider eyes and string as long as we want to sit here and carve them off these spiders, so that'll work. We don't really have any major projects for string right now, but it is a useful thing to have for, you know, stopping snow and things like that from falling on certain builds, so it'll be good to have a reliable source. And we can always automate this in some way. I'm sure there's a way to put campfires and have them slowly kill themselves, but for now, I think just coming here with a looting sword and killing them when they fall off the spawner is good enough, so. Alright, got our spider eyes, got mushrooms, and sugar back at the base. Let's get back there. Let's cure up Greg and Earl. Okay, we've got our spider eyes, our mushrooms, our sugar. We've got our blaze rods and cobblestone. It should be everything we need so we can make our brewing stand. We'll fuel it with the blazing powder and then the, fermented spider eye. We'll make a few of those, and then I believe it's gunpowder to make splashing potions, so we'll need a few of those as well. We need some bottles, which I usually keep all my glass and my sand, because that's the way my brain works. I already set ourselves up in here with a little infinite water source, so I think it probably makes sense to just put the brewing stand on this side. Someday we'll have a build specifically for brewing and brewing stations, but for now we'll make do with what we've got. Okay, there's all of our potions. A couple extra water bottles left after the fact. We'll throw these back in here next to our other glass objects. And then the next thing we need is golden apples. I think we already have one. Technically we'll need 2 splash potions. The rest of them can go in... Oh, that's my special TNT box. It's a little bit of a spoiler for episode 10. There's that, there's that. Golden apples, splash potions. All right. Hopefully Greg will forgive us for our, bit of an oversight. Oh, maybe we should sleep. Seems inappropriate to have the Walking Dead outside as I'm bringing him back to life, so. The good news is I'm pretty sure that our mending books are going to be even cheaper, and since we only had like a 10 emerald trade, it's going to be like 5 emeralds for our potions. Or for our mending books. Here you go, Greg. Yep, take it easy. Take it easy. I'll be back in a second. Let me go get Earl. We're going to have to replace Earl's door with something a little more sturdy, I guess. Okay, there's that and there's that. You know what? Actually, we have those iron doors. It's going to be kind of ugly right now, but let's go grab one of those. Take your time, Greg. Take your time. I'm actually going to go grab some books and some emeralds because our armor is actually starting to take a little bit of a beating, so I think I'm just going to throw mending on them. I might try to throw a few new enchants on them, but I definitely will at least get mending on them so we don't have to remake them. I don't hear the shambling of the Walking Dead upstairs. Nope, he's still a zombie. This takes longer than I remember. I'll just sit down and wait for you, Greg. You gonna get my torch back, you think, after this? Or, I mean, you can keep it, that's cool. No, it is a beautiful day. I wonder if you'll remember any of this, Greg. Could be interesting. I can't believe Scruffy didn't help you at all. I mean, he had to have been sitting right there when that little zombie came at you. It's kind of surprising that the zombie didn't go after him, or it did, and, Scruffy did what he had to do. You're really dragging the pacing down on the episode here, Greg. I mean, it is mostly my fault that we're here in the first place, but if you could just hurry up, that'd be cool. Oh. Greg, what's up? Oh, nice to see you too. Do you remember anything about the recent activities? Just wondering. Ooh, look at that. Oh, you're so kind, Greg. 1 emerald. That is a great deal. Oh, cheap lanterns too. That's gonna be really nice, Greg. I appreciate it. You throw flame on our bow now too? I think that's the right call. I can't see a downside to flame on your bow. I'm trying to think, is there an enemy that we wouldn't want to catch on fire? But I can't think of one. You know what? Let's just dump our emeralds and kind of see what else Greg has to offer. I really appreciate that, Greg. 2 mendings. It's kind of weird that you're charging more for the other one, but okay. I mean, you gotta make money. I understand. It's a business. Probably not gonna buy that one, but I understand. Let's go see what happened to our stick trade too, actually. Yes, that button's too far away. We'll just steal this for now, and we'll definitely remember to put it back later. 26, so not much of an upgrade there, but it's something. Oh wait, he takes string? Oh. Maybe we should upgrade that string farm more. There might be something to that, because 8 string isn't very much. I think we got like a stack in like a minute, so we can max his trades out pretty easily. Ink sack, book and quill. Oh, you know what? Librarians actually get name tags, I'm pretty sure, like guaranteed. There it is, 13 emeralds. Of course, Greg. Why you gotta do me like that, Greg? All right, Greg, give me one of those beautiful name tags. Got one thing to do with this name tag, and then we also are gonna go throw those mending enchants and fix up our gear. Scruffy. From henceforth, we shall be known as Scruffy. And you got a cool blue collar too. Here you go, Greg. He's here to stay. We named him, so can't get rid of him now. Okay, Greg's cured, Earl's cured, Bob's on the roof, and we named Scruffy. Time to build the general store. And there it is, Rita's General Store. It's not really stocked yet. She does have some nice floral decorations. Nice chocolate bar counter to check people out on. Fun fact about this, if you step on it, it actually destroys itself. Because the pressure plate triggers the trap door, which then, you know, moves the trap door and deletes the pressure plate. Funny thing is, it happens so fast that the trap door never actually moves, but it looks really weird. And now we're just getting out of hand. Oh geez. We're falling apart. Just a tiny little general store, you know, just enough room for the essentials. I don't know what we'll have her sell in here. It might be a good idea to throw some barrels, actually, now that I think about it, in a couple spots, and maybe we'll just stock some kind of item in here. What do you think a general store in a logging community would sell? I mean, obviously they would sell food. Maybe she would just have like barrels of fish for the woodcutters to eat. I'm not sure. Bob's still up on the roof. He's been there for a while now. I don't know what he's doing. I was kind of curious what his trades were, but I haven't been able to get him close enough to the edge to find out. One more thing I want to do this episode, I think, is move the villagers into these two cabins. So we got to get Rita in the general store, and we don't have a name for this villager, nor have I really come up with an occupation. I think it's going to be a farming villager, so I think this will be the cook for Greg's Tavern. They've got a nice little breakfast nook. They've got a nice view of our upcoming build, and they're close to the forest, which doesn't necessarily make sense, but they are also next to Greg's Tavern. I mean, everyone kind of is, but I think this will be the cook, and that's, you know, food-oriented, so having a composter and a farming villager in here, well, sort of makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna move those villagers into their houses, and then I'm gonna go check in on Greg. Next episode, we go to the end. We fight the dragon. I think it's going to be pretty explosive. You made it this far. I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one. Well, Greg, I think we should probably close this window, huh? I'd hate for, you know, something bad to happen, like a little zombie getting in here or something. All right. Yes. 2 Greg's brews, I think. It's been a long day, Greg. What was that? Greg, do you know if there's any old war bombs around here? I think that came from the direction of the portal. I mean, sure, he's a decent builder, but fighting the dragon? That's a way different thing. I say we just leave the portal alone. What, so some rocks changed colors? Who cares? We keep messing with it, we might make it worse. I don't know much about him. He just showed up one day, started building. It's weird. It's like when he builds something, like I know it's new and I see him build it, but after it's done, it's almost like it's always been there. Who was saying that? Earl? Yeah. Earl's never been more than a day's ride away from this town. He hasn't seen what it's like when the void makes its way out into our world. Sure, we don't know much about him, but we know that he built this, and I know that I don't want to fight the dragon. did a little building between episodes. But we couldn't have had that cool intro if I didn't do a little building and fight the dragon. Hopefully the intro was good and it was worth it. But don't worry, we're gonna go back. I want to walk around and kind of talk through those builds. They were pretty fun to make. There's still a little bit of change I'd like to do, especially to the hole in the ground. But yeah, go take a peek and I'll kind of talk you through what we've been working on. Also, you may have saw, but we killed the dragon. That's pretty cool. And by we killed the dragon, I mean we just killed the dragon. We have not even rolled credits yet. Don't worry, I'm not gonna make you watch those. We slept in Rita's bed last night. It was the closest to the hole, so I figured that was the best option. Trying to think, in town, I don't think I mentioned it last episode, but we did do some pathing through here. Kind of want to just get a feel for some pathing block materials. This is mud, gravel, and coarse dirt. And then obviously on like the standard paths, it's mostly clear, but I thought in front of the buildings it would be kind of interesting if the road looked more weathered and worn. So we got a little bit more mixture of blocks here. I think it looks pretty good. I think that's pretty much all we really did in town between episodes, so didn't miss too much. The dragon flight was not without flaw. We did have a couple mishaps. I probably could have prepared ahead of time a little better. I could have made some slow falling potions, or, you know, even had feather falling on my boots, for instance. We did manage to get some dragon's breath. I actually don't even know what that's for, to be honest with you, but I know that I always see people trying to bottle it up during the fight, so I did too. I guess I'll have to look that up later and figure out what it's about. We accidentally mined into this stronghold from our, actually it was from our stone mine level, when we were just trying to gather resources a few episodes ago. And immediately I thought, well, if it's this close to our base, we'd be silly not to make a build out of it. So I did. I thought it would be cool to kind of mix some of our, you know, sprinkled in lore that we've come up with recently about there being an old war in this area and how all like the craters in the ground and stuff kind of look like bombs went off. So I thought, well, what if one of them went off a little bit late? And we made a really big hole. It's mostly deep slate, as you can see. And then there's just some, you know, texturing like deep slate bricks and threw some slabs in everywhere. I tried to kind of make it look like an explosion, if that makes sense, so it's not a perfect circle. Although I did kind of start just by increasingly creating concentric circles coming out of the ground. Well, actually, I started by using a lot of TNT to blow, you know, a good portion of the hole out. I didn't have that much gunpowder from our little kind of starter mob farm to really blow everything, but I had enough that we could blow a significant portion of the stone and then just kind of mine the little bits that were left over after the fact. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty cool. I also tried my hand at some custom trees that were like caught in the explosion, so it kind of looks like all the leaves were blown off the front. It turns out though, when you're trying to do these custom trees and you blow all the leaves off of one side, it makes it a little less obvious that it's a tree. I still think that they look good from certain angles, and I mostly just wanted it for the initial cinematic. But when you look at it from certain angles, it looks good, but I don't think I love them. Definitely a thing I need to practice on, but I think they're good enough that they sell the effect of the explosion, which is really all I wanted. That lava pool was already there, so that was interesting. And then we also buried some campfires. So anywhere you see smoke coming up like this, it's just a slab over a campfire. And I kind of just spread them out throughout the hole. I wish the smoke was a little more obvious, but I think when you cover smoke, it actually makes it less effective, if that makes sense. You get smaller puffs, but it's still enough to sell that like, oh, this was a hot recent explosion. The trees are still on fire. And then, yeah, we walk up and we jump down, and I probably cut it in the footage, but I forgot to waterlog underneath the portal. What that meant was by the time the game realized I had fallen through the portal, my feet had made contact because I put slabs directly under the portal level. and I died immediately, and half of all of my gear flew into the void the second I jumped into that dragon fight. So that was a rough start. And then about, I don't know, 5 minutes into the dragon fight, I think I destroyed 2 towers maybe. We lost power at my house. So you'll see the end generation is like absolute chaos in here. Actually, we'll go in here. I was just thinking we're gonna have to run back to town to sleep, but probably easier to show this anyway on camera. I still haven't waterlogged it, as you can see, so I actually still have to climb down the with the bucket. So yeah, I actually lost power, like, I don't know, moments into the dragon fight, barely even getting started. And what actually it did was it completely regenerated the end, but it didn't delete the old end, if that makes sense. So we just have this random, like, weird cube of obsidian where it's like multiple towers, I think, got pushed into each other. And then there's also towers out here that are just extra towers that didn't have, I don't remember what the exploding things on tops are called, but it didn't have like the floating stars on top of the pillars. So it was really confusing when you're down here, especially some of the taller ones. It was like, is there a bomb up there or did I just miss it? What's going on here? So yeah, the fight was not clean, and I got launched twice. That did lead to my inevitable death. So that's not ideal, but we got it done. We should grab the egg while we're here too, actually, while I'm thinking of it. Do we have torches? We probably don't even have torches, because I think that was one of the things that got launched into the abyss. I was in such a hurry to get the fight done. Can we grab one of these without? Oh yeah, look at that. I was in such a hurry to get the fight done that I didn't get any gear. I got my pickaxe and like my sword and armor, and I ran back in here to fight the dragon because I didn't want to lose everything. And then I got here and some of my equipment was still on the platform, and it was a total nightmare. So when the world regenerated and I logged back in, I was actually suffocating in the ground because it moved where the spawn platform was and put, you know, a bunch of end stone there. So I was suffocating in the ground. It was chaos, but I was able to salvage enough footage out of it, I think, that hopefully the dragon fight was still cool to watch. And yeah, we're not going to do end busting in this episode, I think, but it's probably my thought process originally was that we would start moving towards the mining colony in episode 11, but I think we'll actually use that as an end busting episode because I do want to get some shulkers. I want to get elytra. I probably won't use them right off the bat, but I do definitely want to get some shulkers because we're going to be lugging a bunch of materials from our basement here at Greg's all the way over to that cliff. I'd rather not make 100 trips, so we'll definitely need some shulkers. So next episode will probably be really focused around end busting, and then we'll probably work on the path. We won't make the path, but we'll kind of carve, you know, path blocks in the general area that we want the road to go between the two places. Look at this guy. But yeah, we probably won't actually build the path, or at least not flesh it out. It'll just be kind of, you know, random path blocks placed in a shape. I don't want a straight line to the mountain because when you're walking down paths, similar to like this, right? You want a bend in the path so that you can't see all the way through to the end, because it just makes it a lot easier to be immersed when you're on the path, if that makes sense. So like when I'm walking through here, I can't tell how far this thing is. Like the mine could be 10 miles away. It wouldn't make a difference. I can't see it. But you put just enough of a curve in the road. It's like, oh, now I can see to this bend, but you still can't see the mine. And it just makes it feel like you're walking down a long wooded path. And then eventually, yes, it opens up and you can see. So the dragon is defeated, and the forest town is at a good place, at least for me to walk away from it for now. There's still more things I want to do. I want to build the dock. I want to build some more like village huts, and I want to build something in the forest. I'm thinking something like fairy tale, like I'm thinking something like Little Red Riding Hood, but like, you know, the dark story version, fantasy kind of thing in the woods, like a witch's hut or something of that nature. I'm not fully decided on that, but I want to put some kind of build in the forest just to give a reason to go in there and maybe add some walking paths. But all of that will come at a much later date because we're off and on to bigger and better things. We'll still probably come back here to use the mine because, you know, we have the very convenient entrance that we already built. And I just love like how beautiful walking out of this thing is. I mean, you get this nice little pond, the reflections from the shaders and the flowers and the way the trees kind of hug everything. I also love how this path came out going up this little steep embankment here. If you remember, we carved out part of this hill, but really we didn't do a lot of work to this to just make it flow so well. And I'm pretty happy that this turned out. Probably my least favorite build in the whole village is the general store. I don't think I put enough like pre-planning. If you remember when I built Greg's Tavern, I kind of built the interior first and then expanded out from there so I can make sure I fit everything I wanted. Well, with the general store, I kind of wanted to put it here specifically, and I didn't want to change up this path too much, so we really tried to squeeze it in here. I could have expanded it out probably one more block this way and just been like really tight to the path. That's all right. I think that lore-wise it works well, and even though it's not my prettiest build, I'm also pretty unhappy with the dark oak. I think I might have mentioned that last episode, but it just is so dark and the sun doesn't hit the face of it. It all just kind of looks like mud together to me, but you live and you learn. We won't use dark oak, at least not in that large of a quantity on the face of a build probably again for a while, at least until we find, you know, a much more creative solution for it. And yeah, Greg's Tavern. We got our storage in the basement. We didn't ever actually finish this thing. Sorry, Craig. You still don't have a bedroom, and you probably won't for at least 10 more episodes, so... But I did put windows in upstairs, so he's good to sleep up here. I don't know what season we're in right now. There's not even a bed in this room or anything. Oh, look at that. Almost all the windows are in. I wanted to build something out here on this little patio area, but it's such a tight space, I really just didn't know what to do with it. We'll come back and revisit it though. Honestly, the two cabins are my favorite builds of the town for sure. Especially this first cabin. I just love how the slate came out with like the spruce trim on the building. And the more I look at this like log cabin, the interlocking logs, I'm super happy with how this turned out. This was just a vision in my brain and I had no idea if it was gonna work, and I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I'm also just like, I don't know how to explain it, which is probably not a good thing for, you know, a Let's Play series, but just the way that this step down is here and the way that the terrain kind of naturally hugs this build and the tree placement, like these aren't custom trees, but they do just enough. And they're simple, kind of like the, you know, it's a simple log cabin, right? It just really frames the whole thing nice. He also has the best view in town, even though Earl didn't actually think I could beat the dragon, but that's cool. And he said I was a decent builder? Bro, come on. I built your house. Yeah, you did get attacked by a zombie because I put a crappy door in the front, but that's besides the point. And then finally the cook, who we should probably name. So if you want to name the cook, let me know down in the comments, because I went to do the intro cinematics and I wanted to do interviews with the villagers, as you saw. And I was like, oh crap, we never named him. And then I don't think I totally forgot to interview Rita, the general store owner. I don't even think we just decided if she was just works there. She must be the owner. Why would you wouldn't have employees in a town like this. You're a one-man shop town, so. We didn't interview Rita. I also didn't think I could do a high-pitched voice to pull it off. And, you know, Greg and Earl sound a lot alike. But yeah, pretty happy with these builds. I'm pretty happy with how cohesive this little town came out with. But I am excited to move on to a new build style because there's a lot of wood here. It fits the theming and it makes this whole area feel cool, but I'm excited to start building some more medieval stuff, start mixing in some more stone. We need to find moss for sure. Next episode maybe, well, we're gonna do end busting because I need shulkers and I want to just get a couple pairs of elytra just for convenience sake. If we need to do like some kind of resource hunting off in the distance, it'll be nice to have. For instance, as I was just about to say, we need moss. Somehow we have not found moss yet, which I haven't been good about searching shipwrecks except for like one. So once we get some moss, because we're gonna need mossy brick and mossy cobble and stuff like that, especially in the medieval town, just it won't make sense not to have that stuff. Yeah, over the next 10 episodes, I hope to build a lot more farms too. One of the major builds we're gonna do first, probably not next episode, the one after, we're gonna build the iron farm, which is kind of why we're going to the mining. I really need to come up with a better concept for this place. I'm calling it a mining colony, I think, in a couple episodes, but it's effectively like, this is probably a bad example because I don't want it to be in the mountain or underground, but like think Iron Forge with like big walls around it, but you know, less intense than that, and just like a very fortified, tight-knit little, it's more of a city than a town like this is, but it's still small, and it's very like, I want the builds to be very solid and robust, if that makes sense. Like these are kind of like rickety and wood, and I don't like the face of this thing at all. The backside of this cabin, it needs a lot more detail. It needs some bushes or something. Keep seeing it, especially when the light hits it from this time of day, just so flat and ugly. But these builds are like much more like rickety looking and less sturdy, if that makes sense. I mean, they're sturdy in that they're built of huge logs, but they're not, there's no stone or anything like that in any of these. I want those builds in that town to be very like bulky looking at almost, if that makes sense. The roofs will be very like rounded and less, you know, these are flat, mostly slab roofs. But yeah, I'm excited to mix up the aesthetic, do some new cool stuff. And yeah, if you haven't noticed, I've been putting down in the description for the last couple episodes, but I keep forgetting to say it in the episode. I made a Discord server, so if you're interested in joining that, link's down in the description. And in between this episode and episode 11, I'm going to release the first part of this series, kind of the first chapter, building up this little woodcutter town into a movie of sorts, I think. I'm going to kind of edit together each episode. and make it just one continuous playthrough. So if you have some catching up to do, or if you just want to watch it all again and see it in one continuous story, you'll see that come out probably in the next couple days. So look out for that. And then, yeah, if you made it this far in the episode, I appreciate you. Let me know what you thought of that intro, and have a good one.